like right after school starts for most people, and like everyone goes to work, and like the gym is dead, and so I have the whole place to myself. I can go at my pace. I don't have to worry about waiting for machines. It's fucking great. And now that I've started going, like I feel better. I used to only do cardio, and that would just kick my ass. So it's much better now.
I should do the gym. I haven't done the gym actively since middle school, believe it or not, because I was just kind of an active dude and I didn't really need it. I probably need it now. Or not need it, but I should probably just start doing it now because I don't get exercise during the day as much as I used to.
You will feel a lot better physically and mentally if you exercise on a regular basis. Trust me.
Mm-hmm.
Alan said, like he does that.
No,
do you
lift?
Do you lift, Alan?
No, no.
No?
If you saw what Alan
should.
looked like, it would be very funny that you asked that question.
See, now that I've started, I want to like convert more people to it.
Want to convert? It's not a cult. It's exercise.
It is a cult.
One of us. Some people treat it like a cult. Some people online treat it like a cult. I've noticed.
Oh yeah, some people do very much take it way too seriously, and those people can be annoying. But
it's very interesting. Yeah. Also, we're live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to UFR 32. As you might have gathered from our opening conversation, I have a immense back pain today, and it hasn't gone away. So we might hear a few grunts, a few unsavory a few unsavory noises. But we're gonna push through today, because you know I missed last week. We missed last week. We were gonna do a Deadlock UFR, and we decided against it. And by we, I mean me. I unilaterally decided it was a bad idea because I thought we probably should have someone on the panel who has played Deadlock and enjoys it. And I couldn't find anyone, which that's not true. I could find a few people, but they weren't available, and everyone else wasn't available. So we are going to cover a tangentially related Deadlock video, or a tangentially related video to Deadlock instead.
Hell yeah.
Zesty is here. Hi, Zesty.
Hi. How's everyone?
I
know how y'all are doing. Like I expect a response from the chat, just silence. Like, how's everyone doing? And I just like wait, and there's crickets. Oh god.
How's everyone tonight?
How's everyone tonight?
I didn't hear. You.
Airline food. What's the deal with that?
Alan, what's up? What's up with you?
Yeah, what's up, Doc?
My headache from yesterday's gone mostly, so that's good.
That is good. I didn't know you had a headache, so that's good.
Yeah, I like slept wrong or something. I don't know.
You slept wrong? How do you sleep so badly you get a headache?
I don't know, but I woke up and I was fine yesterday, and then progressively throughout the day, my headache just got worse and worse. So
dehydration?
I don't know. I thought so I drank like a lot of water. I don't know if that made it worse or better. So
allergies? Are you sick?
No, I don't.
Do you have brain worms? What's going on?
Maybe
brain worms.
I have some kind of brain parasite.
Yeah, it's in there.
Yeah, it's the it's the COVID vaccine. It's
and the activation code was just sent out over the 5G.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
We were at our coffee thing we do for what is it for college. Every week we met this new guy, and and Alan was talking to him, and we started talking like in detail about some like really schizo shit. And
I love
like
this.
after he left,
Fill me in.
and after he left, the second Alan, the first thing Alan said was, "I scared him off." Also, it's like
dude, I love talking about schizos.
It's too schizo for me to like say on stream if that tells.
Oh
you
come on, give me an example. Give me one of the more tame examples. Was it 5G? Was it like gang stalking? Was it about the COVID vaccine? What were we talking about? I gotta know.
The words nerve
Jet fuel
staple were said.
Jet fuel can't melt steel beams. What was going on?
The words nerve staple were said, and I think that's really all we need to go with.
Oh god,
nerve staple is such a funny fucking thing. Alan likes
from Stellaris.
It's from Stellaris. But yeah.
Yeah, we finally got someone who joined the club who also plays map games like me. So we're afflicted with similar brain worms.
That's good.
Then now we found the source of the headache.
Yeah. Zesty seems like the map game kind of guy, but he's not. It's very interesting.
Map games, like strategy games.
I don't know. Probably not. And then again, I don't think I've ever engaged with. I mean, I like Risk. Does that count? I like the board game.
Yeah, that counts.
That counts.
Risk is fun.
Close enough.
But yeah,
But like, I don't really play like RTS or any kind of games like that.
but yeah, we're here to talk about hero shooters. You guys like hero shooters? You guys like the term hero shooters?
I don't like the term hero shooter because I feel like it's too broad of an umbrella term, and a lot of games that aren't of the genre kind of get sucked into it. Like TF2. TF2 is not a hero shooter, and I hate people who say it is.
You're gonna hate P-Bean because P-Bean is gonna argue that TF2 is a hero shooter, whether you like it or not.
I hate that people call it a hero shooter. It's not. Stop.
Give him a chance. Hear him out.
I will be interested to hear your reaction to this video because we might disagree. Who knows? Who knows?
Oh wow, a rare disagreement between me and the host? What? Sound the fucking alarm. The walls are collapsing around our head. UFR will never be the same. We have to hate each other now. We have to fight. I have a knife. Let's go.
Yay. I think Deep Rock Galactic is a hero shooter. Nah,
anything that has anything that lets you still. Okay, so I don't know how he defines hero shooter, but I suspect that if anything has unique characters with a specific set of mechanics that you otherwise can specify in and only learn within, and you don't have to engage with the entire game, that's what he's going to classify as like a hero shooter.
We'll get into.
That's my guess.
We'll get
into. That's my guess.
I like I said, I told you before stream, I have watched most of this video, or a decent amount of this video. Oh, my back. Oh,
okay.
But yeah, so
I have beer, so this should be good.
Yeah. I have this video is very well presented at the very least, so it'll be better than most of the videos we've seen on UFR. I'll be interested to hear what we think of the arguments though, so that's gonna be fun. Before though, I wanted to ask you guys, what did you think of the new Minecraft trailer?
You have to talk about it.
I like the funny. I like the funny fucking llama. I like funny animal make funny face.
It's. I'm sure everyone knows it suffers from the Sonic the Hedgehog movie trailer syndrome, where they stripped everything visually charming away from Minecraft and presented this hideous abomination of a trailer, and like assumed people would like it. It looks horrible. Mm-hmm. It looks horrible. Why is Jack Black Steve? Why is Jason Momoa not Steve? Fucking Steve punches trees, but no, it's got to be Jack Black because Jack Black's the funny fat guy. Like, I am Steve. It's like, oh no, fucking Jason Momoa is like the right guy to be Steve because he's fucking jacked. He can punch a tree. That's like the better fit. Hello? But no, we have to put him in a fucking girl's clothing instead. Why is he wearing chick's clothes? Do we have any explanation for that? It's so fucking weird. What's happening? The only that's I hate it. I really do.
Didn't even realize he was wearing chick's clothes.
Yes. He's like dressed like Dora the Explorer in the trailer. Why?
I know he's wearing a turtleneck V-neck combo. I did notice that, which I thought was
he looks like Dora the Explorer in the trailer, and I don't know why.
He's not well dressed.
Like the fact they Jumanji'd Minecraft is horrible.
Yeah, it's
because like I was expecting it to be like Mario, where it was gonna be like a fully animated feature of some kind, but no. Don't do that with video game movies. Stop it. Especially if it's a cartoony one. Don't put humans in the game. It sucks. No one ever does it right. It's always terrible. Jumanji works because it's a board game and it's its own IP. Fuck.
The part I really hated was that the voxels aren't voxels. It's just made up. It's not like on a grid.
It's flesh. It is flesh.
Yeah, it's all inconsistent.
Fleshy, bulbous, weird creatures. So gross. It's
like voxel shit going on.
It's so unpleasant to look at. Mm-hmm. Like there's nothing visually appealing about the trailer at all. All of the mobs look terrible. Everything looks off. The humans are hideously out of place. It's just why? Like, just they had to squirt something out quickly. and as a result, it's going to be shit. I hope they go back to the drawing board. They're not, but I hope they do.
I just don't see it happening. This it's oh gosh.
No.
I just want to like get a visual on screen since we are talking about.
Don't hit play.
Why is he wearing chick's clothes? What is happening here? He looks like Dora the Explorer.
I think that the
like pause on that fucking sheep. Go back. Like look at this. What about this is pleasing to look at? What about this tells you I'm looking at the Minecraft movie? This looks like an unholy eldritch abomination.
I just realized
this is some fucking Lovecraftian horror. I hate this thing.
Some of the flowers are square, but some of the other flowers are not.
Right, you're right. What the fuck, man?
I just realized that. Like
some of them are just real flowers.
Yeah, some of those flowers are just flowers. That's crazy.
I hate it. Sucks. It makes me so mad.
Someone in chat said, "What story is there for a movie on Minecraft?" And you know, that's what I've been saying for since 2011.
They're gonna do Jumanji. It's gonna be a Jumanji. Whoa, we're in some kind of video game. Whoa, I can punch trees. There's not even gonna be a story. It's just gonna be a bunch of bumbling fools fooling around in this world, figuring out how it works, and it's just gonna be like a presentation of Minecraft mechanics. I can craft things. I can put things on this table and go, look, it's a brand new tool thing. It's so cool, right? The story is about going to be like finding a diamond or something. I don't fucking know. It's going to be garbage.
Because I've been trying to think, with the whole like no bad ideas thing. If you're going to make a live action movie about Minecraft and that's like, okay, that's what we have. What do we do? You can't do it this way. Like, I feel like this is borderline unworkable, because if you're going to do it this way, you're going to run into a lot of, like, ironically creative issues, where Minecraft is a game that is very freeform and experimental, and portraying that on screen requires a very experimental approach. And they're just going with, like, the traditional action movie Hollywood look for everything, and it makes it kind of gross. Like, I think that what I would have done if I were like, okay, you have to pitch the Minecraft movie, is I would do it as like a bridge to Terabithia thing. Have you guys seen the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Like, I would have it where it's like it's about two kids, and they find, Minecraft isn't like a thing in this world, but they find like Minecraft. Like it's like an ancient I don't know, ritual or something and then they are able to find a part of the world that they can change into being basically a chunk, and then they learn like they learn some lesson about creation and destruction and how they relate with one another based off of their interactions with Minecraft in the real world.
What, you want moral lessons in a fucking movie about a video game? What? You want like actually good writing and thought and structure to a video game movie? Sorry.
Yeah.
Jack Black.
Jack Black. Jack Black could be Jack Black could be like the hot English teacher in Bridge to Terabithia. It could be that.
He already is the hot teacher in School of Rock. It's a great movie.
Fuck, you're right. Oh,
it's a great movie. Go watch it.
It could be Robin Williams in Good Will Hunting, or not Good Will Hunting, Dead Poet Society.
Even those so good movies. Oh, I love Dead Poet Society. I miss Robin Williams so much.
Yeah, he was really good. But yeah, no, this is agony. Just everything that happens.
Don't play it. Don't play it. You're gonna get
Don't play it.
Can you not?
Is it not allowed?
They're gonna try and copyright claim it.
You know what this scene reminds me of? So, has anyone seen the Doom movie with The Rock and Carl Urban? Have y'all seen that?
No.
Oh, you have to watch it. It's so bad. It's so good. It's a classic shitty video game movie. You have to see it. Oh my god. So this reminds me of that scene from the movie where the guy in the wheelchair says, "It's behind me, isn't it?" And then he gets fucking killed. That's exactly what this is. I hate it. Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, place your bets. Is there going to be a Creeper Aw Man reference? Are we going to get a Captain Sparkles reference in this film? Oh, it's so bad. Stop frame hopping around. It's so ugly.
It's gross.
Oh, it's so bad.
Like
the blocks on the roof aren't even stairs.
That's you're right. Fuck. Stop it, Alan.
Like there are so like
you're so
I
right.
think So you can tell the people who made this movie never played the game because it's hideously inconsistent with how the game works. It doesn't abide by any of the game's rules other than, oh, lol, everything is square.
Yeah, but it's not even like aligned to a grid either.
No, well, that's my point. It doesn't abide by any of the game's rules. It's just like just 90-degree, like orthogonal angles only. Like that's all that matters in here. So long as everything is roughly cube shaped, then we've made a Minecraft movie. Oh, and then they put Steve in there, and there's crafting and animals and like pig people. Look, it's Minecraft. Look, weed keys jingling. We. Yeah.
Someone said, "Holy shit, Zesty is right." After Alan made that point about the stairs being on not the roof, and I thought that was funny.
Yeah. Zesty was so right about that.
Zesty was so correct, actually.
I totally said that. What'd I say?
This looks like eco, Alan. Obviously minus the llama. This looks like eco.
And it looks like. I mean, the lighting is more like eco, right?
Yeah, like the style.
Everything is just bulbous and weird.
It's weird. It's gross. Like what the fuck? This looks AI. This looks like AI, and I don't like saying that.
I mean, this could be AI generated. I would not be surprised.
Can we find inconsistencies in this shot? I feel like we could.
Let's look at it for a moment.
By design.
Well, no,
I think part of why it looks so blurry is that it's off grid voxels.
Yeah, it's all smoothed out in like.
So it's like
weirdly.
completely random.
Yeah, some of the things look blocky, other things don't look blocky. Like if I told you this was Minecraft, you might not believe me. That's not good.
Yeah, I'm looking like the someone pointed out in chat. The place it would be where how the snow is placed on top of things. If the snow is not consistently on top of things, it's like on the side or like in weird places it shouldn't be. That's like a telltale sign. But I'm not seeing that.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't be stupid enough to do that, right?
No, I feel like generating a simple terrain like this in any kind of 3D program would not be that hard. So I would not be surprised if AI was used in this film in any capacity because that's just how Hollywood works now. But I don't see any evidence of that from this frame.
Is there like a dock or something? What's this? Like the thing at the bottom?
Yeah, I see that. I don't know.
I don't know what that is. That's weird.
A couple of dirt blocks.
Yeah, no, two whole dirt blocks. Yeah. Oh yeah, someone in chat mentioned the Lego Movie. There you go. There's a better way to do the
Lego Movie was done so well. It was nice
like
and
self-contained.
God.
Yeah, but the best example's been done. Like you could just look at that and yeah.
like the minimum standard has been set. Like you don't need to work to break new ground. If you just met what the Lego Movie did, then this would have been infinitely better. But they just didn't do that.
Yeah,
and all you get is like lazily CG'd humans on top of a roughly Minecraft-esque world.
Is the Lego Movie like? I think that's a decently high bar. It's not terribly low. They did a really good job with it.
So I'm not calling the Lego Movie a low bar, but the bar is set. My point is that it's not hard to meet that standard because the work's already been done. Like the work's been done for them, right? They can just copy.
There's already a template.
Yeah,
you don't have
already a
to
template. Just copy what the Lego Movie did. So
yeah. I get what you mean.
Also, someone in chat pointed out that the tree in the bottom left corner and the tree on the right, the trees on the right are completely different. One of them looks real and the other one is like Minecraft.
I hate this. Everything about this makes me sad.
I like you would think that for a movie like this. I'm sorry. I know this is not the Minecraft movie stream. But like, you would think for a movie like, wait, hold on.
Look at Jack Black. Look!
That's a good place.
Look at this, totally Steve. Look at him. Look, yeah.
You would think for
what about this frame tells you this is a Minecraft movie?
The box in the background, checkmate.
He looks so old and tired. He doesn't even want to be here. Look at him. He's just got dead eyes. He's on like hour 5 of a shooting set. Oh my god, he wants to go home.
Fuck, I lost my thought. Ah, damn it. No.
We're gonna get Jack Black singing in this movie, guaranteed. There's gonna be like a rock solo of some kind.
God, I hope not.
Oh, it's guaranteed going to happen.
Was the last movie he did the Super Mario Brothers movie? Were those like one after another?
I think so.
He is cashing all the video game checks. That's crazy.
I mean, he's riding the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson wave right now of being in as many things as he can.
Yeah.
So go back to this cast of characters. What is appealing about this?
Like visually?
Hideous clothes. All of them have messy Zoomer hair. One of them's Jason Momoa, so at least we have that. So it's like look at this look at this rememberable, colorful cast of characters. We have red, we have orange, we have pink, we have blue. We can tell them apart. They're all wearing nice, unique. Like, oh, I remember the boy with the red jacket. Yeah, it's my favorite part of the Minecraft movie. It's so bad.
Do you think these characters pass the silhouette problem?
Oh my god.
Something my favorite movie is Baby Driver. Something Baby Driver does really well is it has each of its characters identified through color. Where it has all of the characters wear outfits that make sense for the kind of person that they are, but they're all stylized to be based around a given color. But
this is just hideous.
Yeah,
this is just no thought put into this. Like, let's give each human a very recognizable outfit. That way we can have people tell them apart. I remember the lady wearing the orange and purple jacket. I remember the lady wearing the blue fucking ugly ass sweater. God, honey, go to a different store. Jesus.
Honey.
And yeah, then fucking Jason Momoa, please. That fuck with the tassels on that fucking shitty pleather coat. My God, it's fucking insulting to anyone with at least a sliver of a fashion sense. Disgusting. Look at the pigmen!
Hello, look at the pigmen.
Look at the pigmen! Look, they have glowing. I love Minecraft. It's gonna be great. Look at it. Look, TNT. Look, there it is. The bombs. Look, it's there.
There's an ender chest.
Look, Jason Momoa is gonna slam some random shit down on a table. Look.
They put the painting there.
Like, they didn't even bother to put, like, a real crafting recipe on the table to just, like, give a nod to people who actually play the game.
Yeah.
They couldn't even be bothered. Bullshit. They couldn't even be bothered to do that.
What is that? What did he craft?
Nunchucks or buckets. I don't fucking know.
Nunchuck buckets. Nunchuckets.
Nun buckets. Nunchuckets. It's better.
Yeah. Also, at least they at least put the painting in the background. Someone had a thought.
Look, I can tell who it is. Yeah. Look, there's Steve because he's wearing blue and the boy in the red. I can tell these people apart really easily. Look, the colors are there.
The story could potentially maybe be good. I highly doubt it.
No,
I think there's literally a less than 1% chance that it is, but hey, it could be. We don't know.
Do not curb your expectations. Do not give this
have
video
no expectations, Zesty. I have zero.
Do not
I won't
give
go and
this
see
abomination.
This movie. I might go and see it in Japanese theaters actually because I think that'd be funny. But
do it.
Is it so? Usually, are they dubbed or do they have subs?
It's subs.
It's subs usually.
For this kind of thing.
Yeah.
It would be subtitles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some Disney movies and stuff, I think they come out dubbed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Inside Out 2 had a dub.
I was gonna say if they did a Japanese dub for this, that would make the movie already immediately more interesting.
That would be fucking hilarious. Could you imagine Jack Black but like Japanese?
Yeah,
they might make a dub of it.
Someone pointed out the swords.
Steve.
Someone pointed out the swords. They didn't even look like Minecraft swords. Look like sticks.
Oh yeah.
They look like look like Lord of the Rings. Like actually, no, that's a discredit. They look like Game of Thrones swords.
It is. It's like it's not that hard. It's really not that hard. Like they made the TNT look like TNT, but why not the swords? Look, it's a dirt block, dude. I
have to go grab the actual video we're covering. But yeah, that's pretty much sums up my thoughts on the Minecraft movie.
Yeah, look, it's dirt. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great.
Fuck, I don't want to watch it.
We're gonna watch all of it on UFR.
The whole movie.
The whole movie. We're gonna do that thing anime reactors sometimes do, where they have they're like, hey, pause the video, start it now, and then like there's nothing on screen, but everyone's supposed to like.
Watch and everyone's watching together. Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Anyways, hero shooters. Minecraft isn't a hero shooter, shockingly enough. So
not yet, anyway.
Not yet. You know, they might add classes to the game. They might add. You might be able to play as Steve and Alex, and they have different buffs, different abilities. Gosh, that would be so bad. I would be so upset. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
I just made myself mad. Fuck.
Yeah.
You just made fun. No one ever had a problem with that when it was Mario and Luigi.
Go fuck yourself.
Oh my god.
No.
Luigi can jump higher than Mario.
Whoa!
No one ever had an issue with multiple characters when we were playing Sonic Adventure on my Dreamcast. I don't get it.
And Peach flow. So Sonic Advance is a hero shooter. What?
Sonic Advance is a hero shooter. Smash Brothers is also a hero shooter. You do.
Who is your favorite hero in Sonic Advance 3?
Cream the Rabbit.
I'm a big Knuckles guy.
Cream the Rabbit. She can fly. She has.
I like the Knuckles and Tails combination. It's like the most OP combo in Sonic Advance 3. Highly recommend.
Sonic Advance 2 is a hero shooter. That's true.
No one's gonna get my references because no one fucking played Sonic Advance 3.
Actually, I had Sonic Advance 3. It's just been memory hold. That was on Game Boy.
Such a good game, dude. Oh, such a good game.
Someone in my chat asked what the new emote is. We're not going to elaborate. Okay, that's a picture of Eminem.
There's a new emote.
There's a new emote. It's a picture of Eminem.
We weren't elaborating.
Yeah, and I thought I should elaborate. I wasn't going to elaborate that much, but it's there. I just think the image is really funny. It's I was watching. I was up at 3 a.m. watching the music video for the song 3 a.m. by Eminem. Very tired with a group of friends, and we could not stop laughing because that's a very funny music video.
There's 3 layers to this.
There are layers. Okay, it's a good image.
Was that 3 a.m. last night?
No. This was like a week ago. This was a minute. Anyways, let's get started. The modern hero shooter. Patrick Starr is here to tell us what it's about.
So this implies that there are non-modern hero shooters.
They're classic. Well, I think. Okay, so I think before we continue, I guess the title I think alludes to the idea that the definition has changed over time.
Okay.
I think that's what he means. We're off to a great start.
Well, let's do it.
I cannot hear anything because I did not turn the volume back up after the Minecraft movie.
Hey everyone, it's Patrick, and I have a secret to tell you. I'm the real Patrick, been stuck in a cryo chamber since 2014, and this little asshole here is telling me that Valve is releasing a new, what was it? It's a hero shooter / MOBA. Huh. Say, what's a hero shooter?
Heavy funk influence was the first thing I thought when I hit the play button.
Yeah, very much so. At least with the animation style.
In the way everything is presented, even the humor a little bit is like massively funk influenced, which is cool to see. I like funk is like one of the creators where I'm like really happy when people clone him or people take his style or adapt it because his style is just so good. Like I'd rather people. Zesty, have I told you that recently I've become a scornful of LeafyIsHere?
Why scornful?
Because LeafyIsHere is the individual who first made it okay to just talk over gameplay footage and not have any relevant information on screen. Like
he definitely was the first to popularize it. Yes.
He bullied kids, and we agree that's bad. Don't bully kids on the internet. Yada yada yada. But to me, that's not the worst part. He made it okay for you to put the least amount of effort into working on your videos.
But then, I mean, effectively, it turns into a podcast, right? Because there's nothing to look at, and you're just listening to them talk.
Yes, and it sucks, and I hate it.
Listen, I agree. I agree that if you're having a point being presented, you need to have something visual to back it up. If you don't do that, then at least try to put something loosely related. And then if you can't even be asked to do that, don't make videos.
Like Leafy probably put more relevant stuff on the screen, I'd imagine, because he had to put videos of kids being cringe or whatever the fuck.
Well, he started doing that, but very early on when he first started getting big, with his story time commentary surf videos that got really really big, he did nothing. Yeah, and it massively popularized it back in 2015, 14, somewhere around then.
2014, yeah. Yeah, no, I'm scornful of that man for setting a blight on YouTube commentary.
Well, is it really his fault or is it YouTube's fault for pushing it in the algorithm?
Yes.
Yes. All right. I'll accept that answer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good on P-Bean for putting an effort in his video, and high production value. Putting an effort.
Except for that keyboard.
Editing, making a red microphone. Red team microphone. That's very cool. Very, very cool. Very gamer.
Say, what's a hero shooter? So
In
it's come to my attention
2024.
that there's a bit of confusion around what a hero shooter is and what even counts as a hero shooter. And that's because when they were coined in 2015 to 16 by the Battleborn devs, all the articles started popping up talking about this ambitious fusion of genres.
Is that really the origin?
I believe that is correct. Yes.
I did not know this. So like the term hero shooter refers to a combination of game genres.
Yeah.
Really? I did not know that.
Wait. Oh gosh.
Well, no one used the word before the whole Overwatch Battleborn Paladins.
Yeah.
No, I understand that, but like, really, people just like refer to them as like first-person or third-person shooters, right? But then, like, I guess they had to like figure out a way to signify the genre entirely, and they just threw hero in there. It's like, oh, look, different characters, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's like the Smash Brothers version of.
But like,
Yeah.
but I don't know if he's going to keep defining it, but I don't know if I agree with the definition. Like, does it have to have MOBA elements put into it in order for it to be a hero shooter? I don't know if I agree with that.
I know he does adapt it, but the initial definition's very interesting. The fact that it was coined by the Battleborn devs as like this is what us and Blizzard are doing is very interesting.
It does not surprise me that it was a term developed by some corporate entity in an attempt to like market their game. Right,
well, yeah,
and then it's like it rather than like it does in that sense, it doesn't feel organic because if it was coined by the developers themselves, and it's like, oh, okay, they're trying to, it's a marketing ploy.
Well, like because this article points out the Gearbox made Battleborn, they also made Borderlands, and when they made Borderlands, they coined the term they say shooter looter. That's not it. Looter shooter.
Looter shooter.
Yeah. And I guess they were trying to do the same thing, but with their other IP.
You couldn't call Metroid a looter shooter. I hate that. I don't like it.
You do shoot things and then you loot things.
And you get things off the dead things. I don't like it.
Guys,
no.
Make sure to type your favorite looter shooter in the chat. Mine is Skyrim.
Oh my god. I mean, TF2 could be a looter shooter because you get ammo kits. You can pick up weapons. Give Mario a gun.
Yeah, that's a looter shooter.
Yeah, the whole point of like Borderlands though is that you get the cool guns with the bright colors, right?
Basically.
Fortnite?
So I feel like there's a
Fortnite.
difference in the emphasis there.
True.
Which is why this is a looter shooter and why TF2 is a hat simulator.
Yeah, really first and foremost, TF2 is a hat simulator. We can't forget that.
Yeah.
We can't forget that.
But yeah, he'll
Onwards.
continue to define it.
Okay,
This
good.
ambitious fusion of genres, and they all tried to define.
Wait. Sorry.
So he has class-based shooter and TF2 on there? Like TF2 is part of the definition?
Wait. I just wanted to point out someone. This is interesting. This article at the top left came out in 2016, and said the tagline is "There's more to the hero life than pushing a cart." So I don't know if you guys watched the recent video, but when this article was released, there were probably 3 games that had a payload mode in them, like a total. There was TF2, Overwatch, and Paladins. I don't know if Battleborn had a payload mode. So, like, maybe the hero shooter genre is defined by the existence of a payload mode in the game.
Well, no, they're saying it's more than pushing a cart. Like that implies that it doesn't need to have a cart to be a hero shooter.
No,
it's more than just about engaging with the objective. It's about the characters.
Splatoon is probably not a hero shooter.
Splatoon is a hero shooter. Sorry, Bucko.
Fuck. The two heroes are male and female. Those are the options.
Yes, those are your only options.
It's
Pokemon, by definition, Pokemon is a hero shooter. Then
life is a hero shooter.
Life is a hero shooter.
And
Also, just to be clear, we're not dunking on the guy's video yet. We're just being goofy.
We're just making jokes.
We're being
God.
goofy. We're being silly. Okay, the guy's video is
making
good so
jokes.
far. Man, Battleborn's fucking UI looks so much better than Overwatch's.
Wow. So this frame, what game am I looking at?
This is Battleborn, I think.
This is Battleborn? What's
almost-
happening? It looks
I'm
like my
almost
entire screen has been covered in like horse jizz. This is horrible. This is the
bad-
mess.
What is happening?
I was just pointing out that the UI looks better than Overwatch's. I like the UI. And I think they use Compacta Black for the font, which is the
You're a
font that
sucker
TF2
for trapezoids.
I'm a sucker for things that aren't, like, literally just
Rectangles.
numbers on a screen. Like, why do so many TF2 players just take the HUD away? I don't get it. Like, why
It
do they
needs
do
to be
that?
clean. Like, it needs to be clean. I like clean, simple geometry. I don't like overusage of, like, sweeping lines and go like, whoa, here's your health. Whoa, here's your ammo count. I don't like that.
Whoa.
The Battleborn devs, all the articles started popping up talking about this ambitious fusion of genres, and they all tried to define hero shooter, most of them defining them by their similarities to MOBAs and their differences to class-based shooters. But generally, they were a fairly rigid category with lots of required qualifications. For example, in 2015-16, a mechanic that was inherent to the hero shooter genre was an attack-defense or tug-and-pull feeling to the game modes. In short, they weren't defined by the number of or impact of the individual heroes or their abilities, but rather by their commonalities in relation to the general gameplay to others within the now established genre.
Okay, so basically what that...
So by that definition, you could like name a shitload of other FPS games and define them as a hero shooter.
Okay, so he's saying that's like the old definition, basically. He's outlining like in the olden days, a hero shooter was defined by how similar it was to other games in the hero shooter. It was like self-referential, basically.
Yeah.
And it was just like a bunch of games were all coming out at the same time that were all very similar to each other. They had a push and pull attack defense style to them. Call them all hero shooters, throw it out.
I mean, like, but just that basic form of play, attack, defend, push, pull, territory control, that is like something baked into video games since almost forever. Like almost any PvP kind of game has those elements baked in some form or fashion.
I agree.
So I don't know if I would explicitly use that as like any kind of means to define a genre.
It's like
it's interesting.
Well, because like tactical shooters, right? When we talk about tactical shooters are like hero shooters' slow-paced cousin. But interestingly enough, like Valorant is going to be classified as a hero shooter at some point in this video, so those aren't even mutually exclusive anymore. Because I would have said that a hero shooter is defined by two things: one, having multiple characters, and two, well, I guess being a shooter, so three things. But a shooter that has multiple characters and is objective based. And when I say objective based, I mean the objective is like a physical object, because modes like deathmatch, like deathmatch or kill confirmed or stuff in like Call of Duty, or even a game like Battlefield where the objectives are like more large areas, that they're not like sole objects or very narrow, small scale fields. They're very large, big buildings that you have to capture. I think those sort of things are separated. That's how I would...
I don't know if I agree with that. I think more generally, I think a hero shooter, I think it's much more literal. So you have shooter, so it has to have shooting mechanics of some kind. MOBA elements aside don't need to be baked in. And you need to have the term hero involved. And this implies you have some roster of unique characters, each with some kind of unique mechanic. And I think this plays into a video game allowing players to only learn a small subset of the full game's mechanics in order to contribute and play. Mm-hmm. And the game doesn't require them nor force them to be fully immersed in all of the minutiae of a game's mechanics in order to actually contribute towards team play or individual play. I think that's a much safer definition to use for a hero shooter than trying to bring in any other kind of extraneous facet of like, what the objective is. It could still be other players. It could still be a static object. It could be push-pull or it could be linear. It could be attack-defend, right? I think it's a safer definition to say, to rely on a more explicit and literal definition of hero and shooter than kind of like bring in all these extra things.
Isn't TF2 a hero shooter by your own definition?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, technically, yeah, it is. But in that sense, what do we define as a hero? And then what do you define as a class, right? Because when you have a hero, then it feels like, okay, you have unique characters. But then when you go to class-based, then each of these characters or groups of characters have a specific role to fill, right? Like either offensive, defensive, support. But then like the more nuance you get, where like the lines are more heavily blurred between these categories, then it steps away from being a class-based shooter and then explicitly to a hero shooter.
Yeah, I think the reason why TF2 is I think that TF2 is a hero shooter by modern standards, but I think the reason why so many people, including yourself, push back against that is because the characters don't feel like we talk about this a lot, right? With the comics, the comics kind of defined the TF2 characters as characters, rather than individual archetypes that a player could insert themselves into. And if you think about it in the latter way, it feels less like, oh, these are all heroes, these are all characters. It feels more like these are all classes, and every individual scout is a different person. They're not all just the scout. Whereas if you're playing Overwatch, all of the tracers are just tracer. They're not, they're not different tracer variants or versions of tracer. They're all just the same character, just duplicated.
Yeah, I think I see what you're getting at. I think I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I loosely agree.
Yeah.
Similar to how you would define a MOBA. Alright, you with me so far? No? Okay, just know that in 2015 to 16, new innovative shooters came out with unique characters with unique abilities.
What?
Yeah, I think that is like the much safer definition to use than try to kind of apply any certain requirements for gameplay beyond that. If you want to get more general, if you have heroes and it's a shooter game, then I think that's it is a very general term, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's a safer way to define it.
Chat, can you help me out? What's I recognize Overwatch, Paladins, and Battleborn. What's the game on the far left? Does anyone know? I'm curious.
I don't know.
Is that like Heroes of the Storm or something? Also, all of these games look like identical.
Oh, gigantic.
That's a name I haven't heard in many moons.
Yeah, that is, oof. Also, yeah, all of these games look very similar. I shouldn't say they look the same.
I was just about to say that. What sets these games apart? Like all of their UIs look very similar. All of their styles look very similar.
Yeah, Alan, what do you think? I'm curious.
I thought Gigantic was kind of decent when I played it once.
You played Gigantic?
Briefly. It was decent, probably better than Paladins at the time. I was a hero shooter gamer, I was in that.
I know, you were there.
So, can I extend my my definition of hero shooter a bit? I just had a thought. So, I think another big definition of hero shooter is that it's no longer a requirement for a player to learn all of the mechanics in a game. Whereas for many shooters that come before, like Quake or Counter-Strike or Call of Duty, what have you, you have to have at least a basic understanding of all mechanics in the game, all the guns, all the movement, what have you, in order to be effective. But the hero shooter gives the players the opportunity to only focus on a subset of those mechanics and then play the game at a high level. Yeah. I think that's a very big qualifier that needs to be tacked on to hero shooter. Because it implies specificity, and that someone can pick a selective class or small set of classes or small set of mechanics and then move from there.
Yeah, someone in the chat said a class is an archetype of playstyle, and a hero is one playstyle. And I think that when you start trying to define what the difference is between a hero and a class beyond just a class is a general, whereas hero is a specific, then you get really into really weird shit. Because you could, by that definition, multiple characters in Overwatch could both be classes and heroes. Because there are characters in Overwatch, such as Lucio, for instance, who have multiple playstyles that you could go with, and they're not set in stone ways to play them. I think that is an issue with Overwatch generally, but there are characters that kind of sort of break that mold.
Yeah, I think it goes in that order where you have class and then more specifically you have hero. CF2 generally, when you consider someone as if we're talking strictly vanilla TF2. When you see defensive class, you go, oh, yeah, those are defensive classes. You see offensive class. Oh, yeah, those obviously fill the offensive roles. And then support is naturally support except for sniper. But then, of course, unlocks kind of blur those lines a little bit and kind of take things more into a more nuanced direction. And then once a class's ability becomes more nuanced and the lines get blurred, then you start moving over into a hero shooter. Because, of course, you have tanks, you have support and what have you in Overwatch. But then as they added more characters, those lines got heavily blurred, and and it kind of defeated the purpose of having these qualifiers onto these characters.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll press on.
These new games used the title hero shooter to describe themselves, and the gaming community used this new term, hero shooter, to describe specifically these new games and games that were very much like them. This is what I'll be calling the rigid or traditional genre definition. However, 8 years later, and we define hero shooters based solely on the existence of a cast of heroes, which is a fairly loose interpretation which lets drastically different games share the title. And this is what I'll be calling the general or modern subgenre definition.
Okay, so I agree that there is a distinction to be made between those two, and I think it is a good distinction. Because I agree that in modern discourse, when the term hero shooter is used, generally what it means is a shooter with a cast of heroes.
I disagree. I think when people bring up hero shooter now, I think it refers to games that primarily have that MOBA element baked into it, even though it's like by definition a much more general thing to say. Because like when you present TF2 and juxtapose that against the other 4 games that he showed beforehand, it's very obviously a very, very different game and a very, very different experience. So I think that's just what I think.
I think, yeah, but people call games like, I don't know, Apex or Valorant hero shooters, and neither of them are really MOBA-esque in like any way aside from they have abilities, which I don't think you can slap that with the MOBA genre.
It gets close when you give like ults and abilities and what have you, but it's not quite as egregious over into MOBA territory as other games push into. It's kind of in the middle between like strictly FPS and then more MOBA style, right? They're kind of in the middle.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I agree with this definition. I think it's good that he defines his terms moving forward so we know what he means.
Yes.
Regardless, yeah.
Because all it does is signify that this is a shooter and it has unique characters. Anyway, this change in the definition of the...
What game is... Oh, this is Garden Warfare, never mind.
I was about to say, what the fuck am I looking at? I have a plant with a fucking Viking helmet on and a cape. What the fuck?
Once again, I appreciate this UI. This UI has charm, and this UI has a soul, dare I say it. I need to play Garden Warfare. A lot of Garden Warfare fans, apparently they like the Garden Warfare 2 community hosted like an event where everyone got on and played the game at the same time recently. Like a mini fix TF2 for Garden Warfare just because people weren't playing the game. I want to play this game really bad because I think it looks really, really interesting. Good talk.
Hero shooter from rigid genre to general subgenre was probably inevitable as more games came out that, while they varied in their gameplay, had in common the existence of unique characters with different abilities, and we needed a way to categorize these games together. It's interesting to look at this evolution because prior to 2016 or so, it was actually extraordinarily rare to see a game with a diverse band of buffoons. And at the time this term was coined, there was no one thinking into the world of the mid-2020s to see a gaming landscape dominated by these fucking...
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It is a lot. Monday Night Combat's in there.
Yeah. They put Concord in there. Oh god.
Yeah, Marvel Rivals is somewhere in here, I'm sure.
Wait, Quake? Why is Quake Champions? Okay, I didn't see the champions in there. My bad. Okay, it gave me a heart attack for a second. Quake? No. Okay, no, Quake Champions, yes.
Quake? No.
Dirty Bomb. Did either of you play Dirty Bomb?
Oh yeah, I never played Dirty Bomb, but I remember it.
I remember
it. It was so good.
Why is the Black Ops 4 in here? Is that a hero shooter? Does anyone know?
Technically,
it doesn't have.
They have like operators or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're putting Rainbow Six in here as well. We're putting. Wait, dude, does he put?
Or just load out to deep cut.
He didn't put CS:GO in here. CS:GO has heroes, right, or classes?
No, it's only guns. It's only different guns. Everyone starts at the base level, and there's different guns you can buy.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. I'm sorry. I'm stupid. I should have remembered that.
Yeah, the guns are the heroes.
Yeah,
In
the
CS:GO.
guns are the heroes.
I mean, technically you're not wrong because you have people who are known for being professionals with certain guns, like you guys who are like the oppers for a pro team, or guys who are specifically go with the AK or the M4 or what have you. You have guys that only like to I know I have some people that I know that only specifically run dualies and they're fucking menaces with them. I don't know how they do it, but yeah, it's not quite a hero shooter because it's baked into the weapons and not the different characters, and everyone has access to the same mechanics all the time. And if you're not learning and aren't familiar with all of the mechanics of how all the guns work, then you're going to be at a disadvantage, which therefore does not define it as a hero shooter. So
yeah, it's like a Splatoon where you pick the loadout, but your character is whatever you want it to be basically.
yes,
Okay, cool.
The original rigid use of the title is still being used, confusingly, so if you see a game being described first and foremost as a hero shooter, you can think of the traditional meaning. If it's instead described first as a MOBA, or arena shooter, tactical shooter, whatever.
okay.
I'm sorry, I was looking at... He put Crunker
He put Krunka.
He put Crunker as an... Crunker is a hero shooter. That's interesting. I never would have... Have you played Crunker? Or do you know
I have
what Crunker is?
never heard. I
hero
have
shooter?
never heard of Crunker. What is Crunker?
Crunker is a movement based arena shooter where that's free to play. That's like where different there are different classes of characters and they each have their own given abilities. But it's kind of like TF2 designed, but with like no team element at all. So it's
Interesting.
It's just a bunch of classes that you play and you customize their weapons and then you kill people.
Interesting.
It's really fun. I used to play it on Twitch when I was a Twitch streamer. I played it a lot, but calling it a hero shooter is very interesting, even though it's like correct by this technical definition.
Well, he's not. He's calling it an arena shooter with hero shooter characteristics.
No, he's saying like by the modern definition. He said because we didn't let him finish, and I'll roll him back in a second. But he's gonna say. Like if you hear, because he said if you hear someone say this is a hero shooter, first and foremost they're probably using the traditional definition. But if you hear someone say this is a MOBA arena tactical shooter with hero shooter elements, then they're using the second definition. So he still thinks this is a hero shooter.
Yeah, but by the newer definition.
Yeah, by the newer yes. It's just
I like someone in chat. Someone in chat says, why do they keep making arena shooters when Quake 3 is perfect? Because people don't want to play old games. They want to play new games. New is better.
Good. Old bad.
Shiny graphics and like big tits and butts. They put if they had
so...
Tracer's likeness in Quake 3,
I would play it.
dude, I'd play it.
I was gonna say this is a pot calling the kettle black moment. This is a self-report from Zesty Jesus.
Oh, I'm not denying that at all.
Oh.
First as a MOBA, or arena shooter, tactical shooter, whatever, and a hero shooter second, understand that this just means that there's a unique roster of characters, and we're using the general subgenre version of the title. And if a game has a unique roster of characters, with different abilities or items available or other gameplay differences, usually accompanied by distinct personalities and voice lines, we will slap on the label hero shooter. That doesn't mean that it can't still get a little fuzzy sometimes, just let it slide for
I've seen the dumbest 30-plus minute debates about whether or not this game should be considered a hero shooter. As the guy that making a video about this subject, this is stupid. No one cares.
Got him.
Got him. This is Rainbow Six, correct?
No, this is fuck.
Titanfall?
This is the other TF2.
Ah, okay. Thank you, chat.
the fringe cases, just who gives a shit, no one cares. Although you may understand that the meaning of the term hero shooter changes based on context, if you're not in the
They have the dispenser!
What?
They have the Minecraft dispenser.
Because it's the Minecraft, I get it. They also have the ice cream dispenser.
Thoughtful.
That's pretty funny. What? Alan sounded very happy to say that. I'm glad.
Very excited.
To understand how the colloquial use of the term has transformed since its conception, especially
What
since your
is that?
That's the gaming
Sphere.
sphere.
Is that the gaming sphere? Is that what's happening?
Yeah,
It's the game. Yeah, the game sphere.
Why? How
It's
can you
Drake
tell
and
it's the
Josh.
gaming sphere?
Because he says it. Hold on.
term hero shooter changes based on context. If you're not in the gaming sphere, it can be difficult
see.
to understand how the colloquial
see,
use
that's-
of the term has
It's the gaming sphere.
That's good.
transformed
That's a
since
good
its
visual
conception.
gag. Very quality video.
I think the inside of it is a Fortnite map. I could be wrong.
I have no
Yeah.
idea.
It's some game.
It's some game from the gaming
Some
sphere.
game.
especially since your introduction to the term can change based on when and who you heard it from. A somewhat humorous result of this shift is Team Fortress 2 being retroactively added to this genre and then being considered the best hero shooter of all time. Despite
Hate it. Fuck off. Hate it. It's not a hero shooter. It's a class-based first-person shooter centered around territory control and defense. Fucking hate it. It is not a hero shooter. Stop it.
Why is it
No.
not a hero shooter, Zesty? Explain.
Because it's class-based.
What does that mean?
Well, like I said earlier, when classes have a specific role, so and again, strictly talking about vanilla, because when you get into unlocks, it blurs the lines a little bit. But when you have classes, you have specific roles that the classes are meant to fill: offense, defense, support, and they strictly stay in those categories. But when you start blurring the line, and each of those characters have their own more like specific means of influence over the whole flow of the game that kind of blurs the lines between offense, defense, and support, then you start getting into more nuanced definitions and like strictly individualistic characters. That becomes a hero shooter. TF2 is not that. Stop it!
But Zesty, wouldn't you consider the offense, defense, support, those are the classes, but then there are 3 characters in each of them?
Those are not.
Yeah, there's 3 heroes.
Yeah, well, that's just classes. No, stop it. There are characters. There are characters, and they're not even heroes. No, fuck off. Characters is a misnomer. These are mercenaries.
That's the same shit, just a different name.
I don't care.
It's look, I understand it's cringe. Ooh, my TF2 heroes, right?
Yeah, it is cringe, and therefore it's wrong.
But no, and I understand that. But like
It's wrong.
functionally,
Definitionally,
I don't care. I am about form, not function. Fuck your definitions. I hate it.
That's so not true. You're just coping.
No, listen. Don't you throw that word "cope" at me, sir. Don't throw cope at me. Don't throw that Zoomer shit at me, little Riz lover, fucking skibbity toilet, skibbity Biden. No, fuck you. I don't want to hear cope coming out of your fucking mouth. I'm right.
You're just throwing out definitions because they disagree with you, which is fine.
Yes.
It's just you got to make a different
Listen, I'm
definition
right.
that makes more
Listen,
sense.
I'm right. I don't care.
Okay.
I reject your reality and substitute my own.
All right. I think you're just wrong, but that's fine.
someone clip his definition from earlier, and then what he just said, and say these are the same.
I don't care.
We need
no,
Zesty
they're not.
Fortre wants you to find the difference between these pictures.
They're not heroes.
We need Zesty from an hour to go to argue with Zesty from now.
Listen, schizophrenia. All right.
What
I'm
the
a different
fuck is a
person now.
legend shooter? Never
Yeah.
speak. Get out. Be gone from my chat. Be
Never
gone.
speak. Get
Be
out.
gone. Never want to hear the term legend shooter ever again.
But yes, to concede the point, yes, technically TF2 would be a hero shooter based off these definitions, and I hate that.
I also
Just call it a mercenary shooter instead.
mercenary shooter.
I think mercenary shooter sounds cooler.
It does.
It sounds cool. It sounds less skibbity chungus.
We could separate all of the games that use mercenaries from the ones that use
Skibbity chungus.
Then it changes
Yeah, it's
from
fair.
like it's a story. It's a moniker of story and aesthetic at that point. So like Rainbow Six, Apex, I think, and you know, those are all mercenary shooters. TF2 is a mercenary shooter. That's so fucking funny. A DRG is a minor shooter. Yes, thank you.
That side. Is that a lot?
What?
Zesty's side, and I feel like there was a lot in that side.
Yeah, this makes me sad.
Fem pyro shooter.
Sign me up.
Do you shoot fem pyros, or are you a fem pyro shooting non-fem pyro things?
Well, based on how the mod works, every pyro becomes female. So
No
Every
choice.
female becomes
every female becomes pyro in my mind.
only in your wildest dreams.
Only in your wildest dreams.
Interestingly, he didn't say that the game had to be PvP. So, are games like DRG, is that a hero shooter as well?
I would maybe argue that it might be.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh no.
The problem you have there is that the personalities of the characters aren't that well defined.
No, but they are though. They all
Yeah, I
have
don't
their
know.
own. They all
It's
have
on the
their own
line,
different. Well, they don't have their different voice actors, but they all have different voices, and they all have different opinions on things. I think that they are pretty heavily defined. Also, they interact with each other, so it'd be kind of weird to say like, no, they're all the same.
Then yeah, it's a hero shooter.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Is Left 4 Dead a hero shooter? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, no, because
it's not, because they have access to all the same mechanics at all
Yeah.
time. No.
Ah, fuck. You're right. Damn it. No.
it's a hero shooter only in aesthetic.
The hero shooter term was colonizing the whole gaming landscape for a second. We were on a roll. Like, we were trying to get there.
And then being considered the best hero shooter of all time, despite the fact
Zesty, I was on Richter Overtime stream yesterday, and they wouldn't entertain my question, so I just need to ask: are you excited for the Epic Mickey remake?
There's a remake of Epic Mickey?
All right, okay, we can just keep going.
that the genre was originally
Sorry,
created
I don't
with the
keep up
purpose
with
of
it.
excluding TF.
Yeah, no, they're remaking the first game for like things that aren't the Wii. And they remade it from the ground up. I played the demo, and I'm really fucking excited. I'm so hyped.
Cool.
I'm so excited because that game is so good, and it's been lost in the shuffle because it was on the fucking Wii, and it had Wii graphics and Wii controls, and now it's gonna be on fucking PC and Switch and all that, and I'm excited for more people to play it.
I hope it's good. I will try it.
I'm so excited. Okay, sorry, that was unrelated as fuck. Yeah.
Despite the fact that the genre was originally created with the purpose of excluding TF2. Back then, any form of distinction like this in a shooter context was just a class. Now, a class is just a classification of player. This might seem confusing, but nearly all hero shooters are also class-based shooters. But not all class-based shooters are hero shooters. And that's because you can categorize heroes into different classes. Almost every hero shooter I can think of has some categorization system for the heroes.
Listen, when you get to like 9 or 12 different, you just have fuck it, drop it. It doesn't matter anymore. You have like 12. You have 12 different classes. It's like, okay, really, you got Billy and Bobby and Dylan and Dan. It's like, okay, fuck it. Everyone's their own character now.
I wish that that for Overwatch they would just switch from the current the current classifications that they use to the I guess because it's important for gameplay purposes. Never mind. Because like you can only have one tank or two the offense and two.
How is that fun? That means you balanced your game like shit when you're not allowed to let people play what the fuck they want. Hate it. So I don't like Overwatch. I'll never touch that fucking game because I'm not allowed to play what I want because someone else picks it. Fuck you. Hate it.
Have you ever played Overwatch, by the way?
No, I'm not gonna touch it.
Okay. Because it didn't used to be that way, so I was wondering if you'd played it back in the day.
Yeah. It used to be like you could pick any character and you could stack 6 Torbjorns.
That's the way it should be.
And then they limited it to 1 per character, but now they've changed it to class limits as well, or class quotas.
Bullshit. Dumb. Stupid. Not fun. Fuck you.
Someone said, is Zesty drunk?
No. I only had 1 beer. I can have 2.
Maybe not.
That's all right.
Yeah, maybe not a good idea. You can have it when we do the tier list inevitably at the end of this.
Okay. All right.
The type of game it is.
We should do a tier list of all the Overwatch heroes based off of attractiveness. What do you think?
Sign me up.
All of the heroes, but
all of the. What do you mean? Not all of the heroes.
Torbjorn's
no, all of the heroes.
Oh, okay.
Has some categorization system for the heroes based on the type of game it is. And it's pretty uncommon to have a unique roster of characters that you don't want to or can't categorize.
Quake Champions.
Oh, okay.
And instead, they just float around with different strengths and weaknesses.
It's important to note that we generally define a quote-unquote hero as having both a distinct personality and gameplay differences. This is indeed challenged by the fringe cases, Titanfall, PvZ Garden Warfare 1, Crunker, etc., but those don't break that general distinction. A hero usually means a carosser.
Carosser. Typo spotted! Ah!
Shut up, you nerd contrarians.
Entire argument invalidated. There's a typo.
There's a typo, actually. So shut up, you nerd contrarian. You're contrarian to English. Fuck you. Both
minor spelling mistake. Then like the fucking nuclear explosion.
Yeah, I guess the Crunker classes don't really have like personalities, and I guess I haven't played the other 2 games. I guess
Titanfall 2, they don't have personalities, but they have gameplay differences.
Those don't break that general distinction.
See, we should call them carousel shooters.
Carousel.
Distinct personality is a hard thing to define. I would probably just opt for gameplay differences. Like
Yeah, I would
just-
agree with
I would
that
just
because
throw
I mean,
personality out the window probably.
because
Well-
like if they're visually different, that could also be enough to define them as a different character. Because you have a lot of soulless games where you have like a roster of visually different classes, but personality wise, they're just like milquetoast and boring.
Yeah. Like if I have a screen where I'm like, oh, I pick all of the characters and they all do different things, that's a hero. Those are all heroes by this definition. Where that's what we're doing. Like if they know.
Why is personality important? Personality is important because it makes your game interesting.
Well, I think he means why is it important for the definition, which it's a lot of people say that it is because of the reason we mentioned earlier. Because if the personalities aren't distinct, you could argue they're all self-inserts for the player. But
What do you mean? I thought that's the point. Is I want to self-insert. I want to be the character.
no,
Yes.
no.
That's why they have
Now, if you
cosmetics.
haven't picked up on this yet, TF2, which calls its characters classes, is a hero shooter. It's not even one of the fuzzy cases. It is what it is. This is hard for some people to swallow.
This is.
I hate it.
It's a Zesty
I
post.
This is
I
all
feel
Zesty.
attacked. I feel attacked.
Zesty's 8 alternative accounts.
I feel attacked right now. I feel called out, and I don't like it.
Hooray!
I will hit P Bean in the shins with a aluminum baseball bat until I'm right.
Zesty is the scout from Team Fortress 2.
What do you mean the 4chan one is me? I don't fucking post on 4chan. It's a wasteland. It sucks. Hate that place.
Nah, Zesty posts on 4chan.
I post
All
on
the time.
Reddit now. That's the real wholesome Chungus Keanu 420 weed place.
Zesty
So
po-
much better. I love my updoots. I love
Zesty
my
posts
karma.
on
I have like 3,900 million karma. I get to go like, look at me. I have a big penis because people like my posts.
Zesty, I'm curious. Do you know what Gab is?
Yes. Do I?
Nah.
No, I don't. What is Gab?
Alan knows what Gab is.
I saved.
What is Gab?
Gab?
like
Which one was Gab?
Gab is it's like a social it's like the alt-right version of Tumblr is how it's often described.
Oh, is that what it is? Oh, yes, I have heard of that before. Okay. Yeah.
No, it's a free speech social network and pioneer of the parallel economy.
Yeah, I have heard of it. I've seen some of the shit that's come out of there. It's a little wild. I'm now recalling it vividly.
Holy shit. Do not go to the Gab homepage.
I'm going right now.
I'm going to the Gab homepage. Hold on. Worst mistake.
I'm going
of my
right now.
life. Hold on.
What am I seeing?
Gab social.
I went to the second post there. Should I read this?
I'm going to try to find something that isn't politically charged. I just want to find some unhinged shit. Here is an entire cilantro salad.
Oh no. Oh gosh, this is bad. This is
I'm looking for
awful.
something that's not politically related, but everything's about
Everything
politics on
is
here.
politically related.
This is a
What
miserable
infuriates
place.
me the
Oh
most is the
my
liberal
God.
left.
Oh my gosh.
It's just like
Oh.
Twitter. It's like a miserable wasteland.
This is like political. This is this is like Twitter, but on the opposite end of the spectrum. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
this is a hellhole of the terminally online, except at the opposite end of the political spectrum.
Holy
Yeah.
shit. Yeah.
Here's my advice:
That's where
go
Zest-
outside.
That's where Zesty posts, anyways. That's
Yeah,
what
I literally this is my home. I
Yeah.
hang out with my fellow racists. We go out of our way to bully minorities. It's cool. It's fun.
my fellow.
This is for the record. This is a joke. I'm not being serious at all.
Thank you. I would have had no idea.
Here is an AI generated image of a celebrity.
Twitter is a class-based shooter. I agree.
Twitter is a fucking cesspool. I hate it.
Reactionary cesspit.
It is.
This is hard
reactionary
for
cesspit.
some people to swallow. I understand you're stuck in 2016 when hero shooter was a new and rigid genre and was also the enemy that was made to exclude TF.
Some of you might be asking how this is any different than Team Fortress 2. It has a number of classes that all play differently, that's true, but it is still limited. The different classes all have specific roles, and there's not a lot of crossover between them. In a hero shooter, you have many heroes that fulfill the same role in different ways. Instead of I don't do that. Fucks with me. I don't like that.
Well, see, that goes into my point of like blurring the lines.
Yeah, that's a bad fucking way to classify. Because in Team Fortress 2, you have a lot of characters who do the same thing in different ways. The same thing being killing people.
Well, sure, of course. I mean, like you have, you know,
Like how
a lot of
specific?
classes.
How specific do you want to get with each class's quote unquote purpose? You know, like you don't like in Overwatch, you don't have any other character who built. Well, I guess you have two characters who build sentries, the quote unquote.
Yeah.
This is a stupid way to do this. I don't like this. Whoever wrote that, fuck that person in particular. Also, the fact that they said it's an evolution from TF2's gameplay is fucking hilarious.
It's not an evolution. If you're calling Overwatch an evolution of TF2, I think I have some strong words for you.
Evolution can go in a negative direction for the record.
Yes, it can devolve.
Then it wouldn't be evolution
What? Yeah.
if it devolved.
No. You can evolve. You can evolve like a shitty thing.
Yeah, you can go backwards by going forwards.
Well, What do you mean by backwards? You mean away from good,
Yes,
or do you mean chronologically?
away from good.
Okay, That's still out. You're just still evolving in a negative direction.
No, I agree with you.
Okay, cool.
No, we agree. Don't worry. That's what
Okay.
that's like. I agree with you. Yes.
Yeah, I guess. Anyways,
TF2, but times have changed, and whether you or I like it or not, TF2 falls under the new definition. And
unrelated. This is what I literally just said a minute ago, like or an hour ago, or whenever the fuck I said it. But I've don't understand why. Like I understand, but I hate it. That there's like a prevalation of is prevalation a word? I'm gonna say it is. There's a prevalation of people taking their HUD in TF2 and just making it numbers and a bar, and it makes me sad. Like, and I'm not I'm not trying to like dish on people who do that, and like I understand it makes for a cleaner screen and all that. It makes me sad. That's all.
That's why I used BudHUD for a while, because I just preferred the cleaner UI.
Mm-hmm. I like
because I think it's for me. It lets me look at more of the game. So.
Yeah, but also you're losing like the HUD elements that are really like charming and shit.
No, I agree. They're charming. It's also why I recently went back to like the classic HUD, and I'm like, oh man, why'd I ever stop using this?
Mm-hmm. It just makes me a little sad.
these are only called classes as an artifact of 2007 gaming vernacular. When you pick the Scout to play in TF2, you aren't picking a classification of anything, you're playing as the fucking Scout. This is a character. Wow. And this is evident more by the fact that TF2 classes its classes into...
I think Scout is less of a character, or more of a character now than he was in 2007.
Well, yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, I would agree with that statement, just because of how much time people have had to kind of evolve him. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is interesting. Also, I just realized they have... This is one of the good things about this style with the animation is that you can pause it and usually there's just shit in the background. Like there's regular Freddy doing the golden Freddy pose in the background. There's half of a Minecraft bookshelf that's just clipped into the bottom to look like books. There's books that aren't Minecraft books next to some fucking potions and shit. I'm not even sure what the fuck this is.
Breen's desk.
I see 4-dimensional chess from Star Trek.
Oh, that is what that is, isn't it?
Yeah.
The pitiful child man poster. It's good shit. Although the can spilled in the direction of the laptop gives me anxiety, and I kind of hate it.
Oh, it's probably empty. Don't worry.
Also, 1738. Like the song.
Oh, there you go.
Scout, this is a character. Wow. And this is evident more
Space Guy in chat agrees that Deep Rock Galactic is a hero shooter.
by the fact that TF2 classes its classes into attack, defense, and support, or how the community might class the classes into pick, power, and support. Because classes exist to classify players or playable characters, you'll typically see 3 to 4 distinct classes, which can be just on their own or used...
I want to go back to the pick, power, and support thing because I want clarity on that. As someone who doesn't know anything about competitive, can you explain to me what that means?
To attack, defense, and support, or how the community might class the classes isn't to
Yeah,
pick
so
power, it's a
pick class is usually specialized in single target elimination, where you specifically pick the class to like usually pick the med or usually another class, but usually it's to pick the med in like 6v6, where like usually if you off class from the meta of 2 scouts, 2 soldiers, 1 medic and 1 medic and 1 demo, usually 1 scout or 1 soldier goes to either spy or sniper to deal with their medic if it's like in the event of a stalemate. Again, to specifically pick off 1 class. Power classes would be more along the lines of scout, demo, and soldier, the ones that have the highest amount of single shot damage output, highest amount of skill expression, and the highest amounts of mobility. That's what defines a power class. And then support is just your medic, or pyro or engineer, which are typically used in very specific defensive scenarios on certain maps, or otherwise just not played at all. That's like from the competitive definition.
Yeah.
Whereas this picture we're looking at on screen right now is leaning more towards how it's applied to vanilla play, where pick class is to single target elimination. Power usually implies high damage output, either burst or constant stream, and multi-target damage, and then multi-target elimination. And then support is, of course, a healer, and then engineer this healing and his sentry gun for area denial, and then pyro also more so for crowd control and area denial.
Yeah, because air blast. I was trying to figure out why pyro.
And also spy checking. And also spy checking primarily. Yeah. Because like if you go to Highlander, pyro becomes more of a support than an offense class because he's really there just to deter the spy from killing the medic and to reflect projectiles. So
I didn't realize how cool pyro is as a class until recently. I've been playing a lot of pyro because he's much more multifaceted than I gave him credit for, because the community kind of stereotypes him as like brain dead.
Yeah, pyro is very, very fun. And I mean, actually what's funny is pyro was specifically designed for poor internet connections, because when they were designing the class in Quake, they wanted the game to be accessible to a whole bunch of different people. And so if you had the game use a large area to define a hitbox instead of straight lines like with hitscan, then it was much kinder with poor internet connections and you could still play the game. But then they kind of transferred that over into a class that was easily accessible. Now you don't need pinpoint aim in order to be effective. But then they baked in a whole bunch of other mechanics that like really raise his skill set, like air blast and what have you. It's really cool.
We got a donation that deeply confuses me. Can I read it out, please?
Yeah.
Southern Ninja donated $5 and said, and I want to make it clear before I continue that this is not my opinion. This is Southern Ninja's opinion. Deadlock is a doo-doo game, meat for doo-doo shills, Asians and Asian shills. MOBAs don't mix with shooters, end of argument. Now, we can address the last sentence in a second. I want to know, how did you come to the conclusion that Deadlock is a game for Asians?
It's very heavily catered towards the Asian market, 100%. Specifically like Korea and China, just because of the visual style and like the lack of extreme gore, the variety of characters. It very much is catering to that scene, much like how Dota does.
Like,
Dota is massively popular in China.
You mean what you mean, right? Is like it's a MOBA that is catered towards people, because the MOBA market is massive in Korea, right? And China.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So that's what you mean. The way this is said, because he said Asian shills. What the fuck is an Asian? What? The implication is like they catered it for people who want to shill the game and are also Asian, and also like he didn't say Korea, he said Asian, which is like a little bit broader than just like Korea and China.
Well, I think that's more fair, because it includes Korea and China, which is like has like the biggest market for MOBAs in general. So,
yeah, but it also includes like India.
Well, of course it includes a lot more. And then like, how far west do you want to go? Do you want to include India? Do you want to get Nepal in there? You want to get to Eastern Russia? Yes, of course, it's very broad. But he was definitely referring to like China and Korea specifically.
Okay. Now, and MOBAs don't mix with shooters. I think Overwatch and games that have spawned from it have given the MOBA shooter mix a bad rap. I feel like there are ways you could do it and make it fun. It's just that people are so hyper focused on making it esports that it is done the good idea bad justice. Because when you start to make something competitive and you lose a lot of the fun element, especially if you don't deliberately go out of your way to try and make it fun. And yeah, I feel like that has happened with shooters that have been given MOBA elements a lot. In my
understanding is Deadlock is trying to be more of a MOBA than
than
than other attempts have been, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do agree on that statement, because at least when it comes to a lot of the ranged damage dealing in MOBA, in Deadlock, there's not a lot of mechanical variety. It's very narrow stream, like almost narrow stream hit scan like damage with damage fall off, and then you have like a lot of melee attacks and AoE and shit like that. It's definitely focused more on MOBA elements than an FPS for sure. Like the FPS definitely feels like it's like definitely a secondary thing to the overall experience.
Maybe I'm not that critical of that. Maybe I have a different perspective because my favorite MOBA is Smite. And you don't really criticize a MOBA for making basic attacks boring, right? Because basic attacks are just that. You right click an enemy and it hits them.
Well, I think also boring is relative, right?
Yeah.
Boring is subjective for sure.
Yeah.
Man, I need to play Deadlock. Zesty, get me a Deadlock key, please.
Yeah, I fucking was meant. Yeah, I will. I just keep forgetting to send them out to the people I need to send them out to.
You're good. I need to try it though, so I can actually talk about it when we cover it.
Yeah, we need to like play it together because God knows like I'm gonna struggle to play Deadlock without Alan by my
I
side.
think it might. I don't know. I'm hopeful that it could be a good game. But we'll see.
I'm hopeful too, but I fear that. So this is what I'm observing. So Valve is taking the same path that they did with Dota 2. With Dota 2, they first released the game in, I believe it was a closed beta, not an open beta. Someone might have to correct me on that. But the point is that they released an early version of the game before its official release to get a lot of people in and to massively popularize it. And my fear is once they get the established player base, they're going to get it to a point of it being good enough. And then they're just going to open the floodgates to microtransactions. And then that will be it. Like they'll stop trying to really improve the game and make it really, really good. I don't trust Valve from a game development standpoint anymore because that ship sailed back in 2012 by and large. And their focus greatly shifted towards hardware and other projects, and then kind of their game development in games as secondary funding sources for those projects. I'm hoping they prove me wrong, but in the past 12 years, I have yet to see any indication that Valve cares more about developing good games than making other things and doing other things. So we'll see.
Fair enough.
Someone in chat asked, "Is the Steam Deck worth it?" Alan, what do you think?
It depends on what you do. I got one, but I don't use it that much because I mostly play map games. And also I haven't used a controller in like 15 years. So
Which is why Alan's going to sell his Steam Deck to me. Chat, make sure to message Alan and tell him to I'm fucking with you.
but if you like playing emulation or like any platformers, or if you like playing 3D games with a controller, like Red Dead would be really nice on there, and it runs decently. It's nicer if you stream it though, because you get the better graphics from your main.
So I got
PC.
a buddy who got a Steam Deck, and he really sings its praises. If you don't mind putting up with the headaches of Linux, then it's definitely for you, because you can always plug in a mouse and keyboard and then just kind of have it act as your own, as like a separate standalone computer, if you so desire. It's it's reasonably versatile, and if you don't want to cash into like a full gaming rig, it's not bad. So,
yeah, I really want a Steam Deck. I haven't invested in it yet, but I really want one.
That's something I really respect Valve for, is pushing their platform is really good, and it's continued to be good, and they're using that to push for like Linux support and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
I
Trying
am
to break
glad.
the monopoly.
Yeah, I am glad that at least that facet of Valve's philosophy is being retained, and that they're still willing to offer at least that good product that is Steam and all the stuff, and like and all the stuff that comes with it. Like, I'm glad they're still standing by that and willing to expand that to outside of Windows and Mac OS and putting it on Linux and getting it more accessible. I appreciate that, because it feels like there's an extreme lack of that nowadays with game developers. It feels like a lot of developers are walking and going backwards with making their games more readily accessible to a wider audience. So props to Valve for kind of doing that still.
I agree.
Because classes exist to classify players or playable characters, you'll typically see 3 to 4 distinct classes, which can be just on their own or used to separate a selection of heroes in a hero shooter. Which is why it's easier to visualize hero shooters and class-based shooters as a circle inside a circle and not a pipeline or something. Wow, Patrick, that's great. Is Doge still around? Yes, surprisingly. Anyway, so you skipped past the hero shooter infancy stage, and you're now at the expansion. The modern hero shooter ecosystem is now rich with different main genres and game modes. Wow, that means about as little to me as your mother, and I created you, Patrick. You have no mother. Okay, haha, but with such a meteoric rise, you must assume there's some benefits to having a unique group of—
There's like a slight change in the tone or in the vocal quality of Patrick and the guy, and I appreciate that attention to detail because that's obviously the same voice. He's not doing like a Patrick impression.
Yeah,
you need to like distinguish the two voices somehow.
Mm-hmm. I agree completely. The production quality very high.
Yeah.
Just assume there's some benefits to having a unique group of guppies for the player to use, right? Sure. Okay, that's awesome. Now it's time to talk about the
good cover of the song.
What song is it?
What is it again?
I don't know. I want to see
it's an Elvis song, but I don't remember the title. Fuck me. What is it called? What is that fucking Elvis song? Someone in chat remind me. Shit. Fuck. What is it? Oh, it's driving me insane. I have to Google it. Hold
on. They use a good. There's good music choice in this whole video.
A little less conversation. Thank you. God, that was it.
Are you sure it's not Darude Sandstorm? Nathan Adams said it's Darude Sandstorm.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So specifically, that is the Junkie XL remix of Elvis Presley's "A Little Less Conversation." Oh, it's so good. Good song.
Very good.
Having an interesting and varied cast of clowns for the players to pick from.
What's with the stars on his face? Is there like a reason for that I'm missing?
No.
What?
I don't think so.
He has stars on his face. Is it a SpongeBob reference?
What?
He has stars on his face.
They're glasses.
It's not.
Are those not his glasses?
I think those are glasses.
Itself.
Oh no, yeah, no, sorry, I'm stupid. My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's because Patrick is a starfish. Thank you, person in chat. I'm stupid as well. I'm stupid times 2. Whoops.
In and out of the gameplay. Within the gameplay, having different characters with different uses, abilities, interactions, strengths, and weaknesses can make the ecosystem of a game feel very rich and deep, while not being overwhelming as everything is contained within the different bite-sized characters. The diversity also ensures—
Yeah, that's something that's interesting because that's an issue I have with Paladins, a hero shooter, is that and kind of Deadlock as well, from when the small amount of time that I did play it, but like the amount of things they cram into one hero, and then you like look at all of the heroes you have, and it's really overwhelming. Like it's too much. Like
I think there's definitely a line.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that there's definitely a line with like how like of having too many mechanics for a single hero or class, and then having too many individual characters. Like I feel like TF2 hits the sweet spot really nicely, where the classes have a reasonable set of standard mechanics, and then of course the unlocks have variations of these mechanics, and then there's only 9, right? And then that's it. Like that's a good volume to work around with. But then if you keep adding more and more and more, it gets bloated and lines get blurred. It gets too complicated, and then
Yeah,
agreed.
Yeah, it when you start adding things like alternative abilities and on top of new weapons, on top of new equipment, like once you start adding these things over and over again, then you're like, oh yeah, and each of these 20 characters each has their own set of these things. It's like, oh, okay, whoa, we need to like scale things down, because I know if you put this much stuff in there, each of these things can't be very individually dense, so I need you to like tone everything down a little bit.
Yeah, that was one problem Paladins had towards its release. I think they've changed it since, but they had like 18 characters, and each character had like 30 cards it could use.
Yeah,
And different combinations of those cards could make like 2 to 4 different playstyles for each character that were viable.
It's also why I don't like Deadlock much, because it's a lot of shit to process when you first start playing. So I don't like MOBAs in general. It's just so much shit. And the amount of time you have to invest to have like a basic level of understanding and knowledge as to how everything works and how to get builds and then, you know, what the best builds are. It's like, fuck. By the time you have that, you've already put in like 200 hours. And then by then, you then feel like you can actually start playing the game. It's just too much for me.
Like, say what you will about Overwatch, but Overwatch at least had the balls, or not the balls, but the knowledge to understand, like, oh, we only need to give each of these characters a set of abilities, and then they will be dense enough on their own. We don't need to add anything, like, alternative abilities or anything. They just kind of stuck to their guns, and I think the game is better for it. It's the reason why I can play Overwatch. I can't play like any of those other games you mentioned. I played Paladins, and Alan, I hate to spoil the fun. It has not gotten better, at least from what I saw. It's probably gotten worse in that regard.
Yeah,
And I haven't played it in like 8 years, so.
Yeah, and Lucid, I agree with you on your point on Overwatch, but then they went in the opposite direction in that they wanted to keep the game. They wanted to keep putting more stuff into the game to appeal to more people and to like keep engagement up. So then they started adding more characters, and when you add more characters, that adds more mechanics, and then it starts getting too convoluted. They kind of go in the different direction of instead of adding more mechanics for a specific character, they just usher that in the form of a new character, and then it fucks with gameplay flow, it fucks with balancing, and it just it makes it a mess.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
That no matter your preferred playstyle, there's something for you here. Ideally, multiple something.
And actually, to add to that, that is something that TF2 did as well, and I think is a big flaw with the game, is they started adding too many unlocks. And as I think is ultimately like why Valve stopped adding more unlocks at such a crazy pace. Yeah. And then started doing rebalances instead to kind of to fine-tune the balance of all the things that already exist. Because if you just keep throwing more shit on top of the pile, it adds more stuff to learn. Sometimes things get redundant. It fucks with balancing. Yeah. So ultimately, and that's like something I've said multiple times, I think it's a good thing that Valve started neglecting TF2, because if it was being handled with the modern development standard, then Lord knows what the game would have now. Who knows if it would have new classes or new weapons, or how much shit would have been hucked into the game that would have fucked with the really good, tight, existing balancing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think, like when people say like Overwatch has over 100 weapons, and they say it like it's a good thing, or not Overwatch, sorry, TF2 has over 100 weapons, and it's like
no, it's not a good thing, and like half of those go unused.
Yeah,
typically half of those go unused most of the time, right?
Yeah,
and then someone. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, most of them don't have like the game design depth of the flare gun or the detonator or the direct hit or the Dragon's Fury.
Exactly, yeah.
Or the Force of Nature.
Yeah, and someone in your chat said, does that mean TF2 is going to be stagnant? The game has remained the same for the past 8 years. I think people keep playing the game because the game is good, and if your baseline mechanics are really good and engaging, you don't need to keep throwing more on top of it, because people will just keep playing your game. That's a sign right there. Like, you don't need to keep adding more and more shit on top to keep people interested.
Example?
Aside from cosmetics, I guess.
Example? Tetris? Super Mario 64?
Also Tetris. Also, yes.
There are a lot of games beyond TF2 that we don't think of because they're not multiplayer games, quote unquote, but that have outlasted their quote unquote lifespan, you know?
Yep. Also Counter-Strike gameplay, exactly. Like, think about the volume of changes TF2's underwent, and then compare that to the volume of balancing changes that Counter-Strike has underwent. Counter-Strike has undergone such a tiny, tiny fraction of balance changes compared to TF2, and has only had like what, 1, 2. How many more guns have they added? The 2 come to mind. You have like the R8, and then the MP5 were added.
Mm-hmm.
But what other guns did they add in the game after launch? I think that's it. They didn't add any more. I might be misremembering, but they've only added like 2 other guns to Counter-Strike, or CSGO, I should say, since 2012. CZ, sorry, thank you, CZ. 3 other guns since the game was released in 2012, which is crazy, right? And people still come back to the same mechanics and gameplay over and over and over and over because they made it just that good, right?
Yeah. Mildly OCD super chatted $10 and said, I really like Paladins for its customization and playstyle, but the biggest problem with it currently is the amount of characters that overlap roles when playing, also the lack of maps. That's this is an issue like most hero shooters quote unquote have, where like TF2 has this problem, right, where you have a bunch of weapons that are all like most of them serve the same function or a similar not most of them. A lot of them serve similar functions as each other, except one does it infinitely better than all of the other ones, and therefore you will only ever use that one, and you would never use any of the other ones except in very niche scenarios, i.e. the sun on the stick, or the sharpened volcano fragment, or the neon annihilator. A lot of the melee weapons fall into this category, but they're like the quick fix kind of even, but not even to the same extent as a lot of other weapons in the game, where you have a lot of weapons that are in the same category. They all do the same thing, but one or two of them does it better than everything else, and you're never going to want to use any of the other ones, which is kind of a problem.
I agree, and again, that's why like half the weapons in TF2 largely go unused most of the time.
Like
I mean, yeah, that's it, really.
Yeah.
That's it.
Like even Alan, I wonder if you agree with me here, but even Overwatch kind of is beginning to have this problem where, like, a lot of the new characters are good at distinguishing themselves, but a few of them are you know, teetering on the edge of like, oh, what is that? Oh, that character exists in the game. Oh, that character does the same thing as this other character for the most part, you know. Like Sojourn immediately comes to mind, as like Sojourn has the lasers, which is cool, but so other than that, Sojourn feels like she plays like soldier, you know, and the names being similar doesn't really help.
I get what you mean. You can definitely argue that Sojourn is just soldier, but with a railgun.
Yeah, Apex soldier.
Basically. But I think they've distinguished her enough where she's a different character and fills a different role, because her basic attack or her basic shots aren't hit scan like soldiers are.
Yeah, they're projectiles.
But they've kind of flipped his kit, I guess, where his basic attacks are hit scan, but hers aren't. And then her railgun is hit scan, but soldier's rocket isn't. Also, her railgun does more damage.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll be right back.
And she doesn't.
So I think Space Guy wants to get in.
All right, sounds
good.
good.
Oh yeah, Space Guy wants to join.
Yeah, we can get Space Guy in here. You guys want to see Space Guy? Can we get some Yaz in the chat? Get this fucking bitch in here.
I added him.
Guys.
So I think it's different enough.
Oh, sorry.
They're definitely similar, but
yeah, no, I just I find that a lot of the characters are beginning to blend in with one another, and you know, I feel like if they keep adding characters at the pace they're going, it's gonna get like a bit crowded, I think.
Yeah, no, eventually you have to either get really creative or start slowing down your production of characters, because there's only so many things you can do. One thing that I definitely noticed is the seemingly racial trait of all the Japanese characters being able to climb walls.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know why they keep doing that. It's a bit weird.
So they all feel a little bit similar in that regard, but it's just one thing, you know?
Someone in chat brought up MAGA. I can't believe it took them, like almost over 10 years before they, or almost like 8 years, right, before they finally added TF2 Heavy into the game. It's kind of crazy. They held back they didn't hold back on most of the other classes, but they took forever to add Heavy. It's crazy. I don't know if MAGA's like TF2 Heavy really like that, but he's like the closest thing to the game, and I thought it'd be funny.
I agree.
Juno's not Japanese.
Yeah, I don't know actually.
Scout was added 8 years ago. I don't yeah. There are certain characters in Overwatch that just like all blend together for me, and not in like a good way, because they just have overlapping roles. Like, do you ever just forget Torbjorn exists in the game? Like, does that ever happen to you? It happens to
No,
me.
he's just not played as often nowadays, I feel.
Like, he doesn't even really have an Oprah. Well, I mean, Symmetra is better in most situations, but like, he doesn't even really have that much of an overlapping role. I just forget about him. Same goes for Lynn in chat is saying no, and I happen to know Lynn didn't know how to pronounce Torbjorn's name until like a week ago. So Lynn is full of shit. Anyways, unrelated. Oh, what the fuck is the healer that they add? Illari? I always forget Illari's in the game, and Illari's pretty distinct in design, like visually, but like aside from being that one character that a friend of ours plays, it's like I just forget that a lot of characters, exist in this game. Doomfist is another one. There's probably too many characters. I like Venture. Venture stands out. Venture's cool.
Yeah, Venture's kind of fun, actually. There's a lot of movement gameplay going on there.
Yeah.
More than most of the previous characters, I'd say.
A lot of the Overwatch characters make me wish that I could like take them out of Overwatch and put them in a different game and then make the game better. You ever have that?
Oh.
Like I want to take Venture and put Venture in a game where we have a bunch of heroes, dare I say it, like that have similar abilities and skills, where they, maybe all of them can dig underground, but they each do it and they have different, traits or whatever.
You just want Deep Rock Galactic?
No, I want a Splatoon, but instead of squids, it's people who can dig underground.
What do you mean dig underground? Go underground like Venture does?
Yeah, like she burrows underground.
Why is that the mechanic that you're after?
Because I watched. Well, no, I didn't. But there's Hey Simply has a video about burrowing in games, and
Hey, sorry, I'm back.
Okay, we were talking about burrowing and digging, and how I wish that I could take Overwatch characters out of Overwatch and put them in other better games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I wish I could take Venture out of Overwatch and put them in a game that isn't Overwatch, because I think that a game based around characters who can dig underground to move around, but only for a limited amount of time, and then they have to pop out. If like every character could do that, it was a universal movement ability, I think it could lead to some really interesting shooter gameplay. I
mean, Splatoon kind of does that with paint, does it not?
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Is like I want Splatoon, but like without the paint and just with digger mole people.
Yeah, I think that would be cool. I agree.
Give me a Super Mario Brothers shooter, but where all the characters are the Monty Mole enemy.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be fucking great. If I gifted you Garden Warfare, would you stream it? Yes. A person in chat. If you gifted me Garden Warfare, I would stream it. Not tomorrow, but probably the next day, because I really would like to play that. Anyways, shall we continue?
Yes.
I don't know where Space Guy is. He said he could get in here at any time. He could snap at any moment. Let's continue.
No matter your preferred playstyle, there's something for you here, ideally multiple somethings for you so that you can switch between them. Lots of hero shooters also have various customization options for the heroes, like weapons specific to that hero, or being able to specialize into different abilities or niches of that hero.
See, this shit. Ooh, I hate this.
This gets too much.
I hate
this.
This
Way
shit.
Too complicated.
I'm fine with where's Plants vs Zombies? This is fine. Visually distinct variants of a character, perfectly fine, no issue. When you get to this screen makes me upset. Like I need like a moment to breathe when I see this screen.
Yeah, it's a little overwhelming, and sure, I guess it's like, you're getting filtered if you don't want to fuck with all the stuff in the game, but I think there's something to be said for making games too overly complicated, and it turns a lot of people off.
Don't show this information. You don't have to show this information.
This is Rainbow Six, right? This is like...
Is it?
Shit, hold on, I'll be right back again. Sorry, my food is done.
Yeah.
One moment.
This is just information about the weapon. There's like maybe 2 or 3 weapon choices. If I remember correctly. It's been a minute.
I know, that's my point. Is like, you don't need to show all of this information when I click on a gun. it's not necessary. I can go like this is stuff. You know, you want to talk about like things that can be relegated to the wiki. These are things that I feel could be relegated to the wiki. I don't think you need to put
agree.
I don't think you need to put or you could put them in a very maybe this is a separate menu. I don't know. So maybe I'm overstepping. But if you put this in a separate like advanced menu, that'd be fine.
I don't think this is the default view. Like, I think you have to click into the gun to see it.
Yeah.
It's also been a minute.
Okay, well,
So
then in that case, then sure. If that is the case, then I will rescind my complaint. But like having a damage fall off graph on when you look at a gun is kind of crazy. Like
yeah, no, I think like I probably saw this menu once or twice when I was playing, but I think usually you just pick like, oh, I wanted the pistol.
Yeah, that's like
it's also been a few years,
like,
so
having the damage fall off graph and the recoil pattern graph to me is crazy. And I just maybe it's just I'm not in the right market. But like, wow.
Yeah, you're getting getting filtered, like Zesty said.
Yeah, this is wild. No one tell them about sim games. I know there are games that like where this information is like important to the people who play it, and I'm not gonna like I understand if this is like a menu you click into that shows you like competitively orientated information. That's completely different. I thought this is what showed up when you were like, I want to select a gun, and then you're like, what gun will I pick, and it shows you all of this. If you have to click into this, then it's fine.
Sorry, I had to get some food. I apologize.
What do you think about Zesty? What do you think about if like you hovered over your scatter gun in TF2 and it showed you the recoil pattern graph?
I don't like it. I think some things are left for the player to explore and understand mechanically, but you should give players enough basic information to understand just what the fuck the gun does, right?
I think it's fine. I was saying I think it's fine to have this menu in a competitively oriented game, assuming you click into it. But if this is what shows up when I'm like selecting a gun, then I need you to like calm down.
Yeah, like have an option to look at like advanced mechanic details or something to that effect, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's something to be said for giving players enough information to actually play your game, which TF2 traditionally doesn't really do that well. And then giving too much information that would otherwise overwhelm the player.
Yeah.
And then leave nothing for exploration.
Yeah. People in chat are very happy about my Monty Mole movement shooter idea.
I think it's a cool idea. Someone fund it, make it happen, do it now.
Yeah. Zesty Jesus said so. It has to happen.
Or being able to
What the fuck does any of this mean? By the way, can someone like elaborate? Not like
no
idea.
Cards. I just. What does having two of the cards mean?
I don't know.
I think it's level 2.
Is it level 2 or is it 2 of them?
Yeah, I think it's level 2.
That's what like upgrades the card.
Yeah, it's been a minute since I played Paladins, but I'm pretty sure they have levels.
Interesting. Okay. Wait, so you not only have all like 30 plus cards for each person, but you also have levels for each one?
Yeah, like your cards can just be better, if I remember correctly.
Oh, yes.
Oof.
It's similar to how yeah, it's crazy.
Ooh.
I mean, if it's your kind of game, then go for it.
It's just probably not for
not for me.
Different abilities or niches of that hero, which furthers the points of depth and variety in gameplay, which increases the.
Okay, wait. Okay, I'm gonna stop you short. I'm holding the phone. I don't agree that having more options equals more depth, and I'm gonna roll him back to make sure that's not what he's saying. But if that's what he says, I completely disagree. Depth is found in the depths of your mechanics, not in the depths of the amount of shit that you can operate with.
Yeah, it's not based on volume.
Yeah, depth. It's literally not based on volume in geometry, unless I'm mistaken. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. But
well.
Yeah.
Wait, would you say depth is not based on geometry?
No, depth is not based on like the amount of depth in something is not based on its volume.
Well, depth is volume because you're assuming something has 3. Okay. You're assuming something has 3. You're assuming something has 3 dimensions and therefore it has depth. So.
Okay. No. Yeah. No, you're right. I'm sorry.
Bad.
I'm
Lucid
stupid.
failed grade school math. Kill him.
No, I'm sorry.
To be fair, that's more like middle school math.
Oh
than
my
grade
gosh,
school.
it's Space Guy. He jump scared me. I wasn't prepared. Hi, Space Guy.
Has he said any slurs yet? Has he gone
No.
on like a solid 2-minute rant where all he's called was slurs?
What are you talking? You said that he does this, and he is.
He does do that. I'll find the video. There's a PB video where he just calls his audience like slurs for like 30 seconds straight. That's not a joke. I don't know if he took it down, but
She
I'll
space
find
on
that.
my guy till I online.
like, I'm not even gonna respond to that.
Should.
But yeah, what do you think about the
feel?
amount, the depth that's being defined, or sorry, the amount of things in your game equaling depth, Space Guy?
That's not true at all. Look at Minecraft for a
I was
good
just
example.
about to say that. Yes.
Minecraft has a
Exactly
shit
like
ton of
Minecraft.
things.
That's a good
Minecraft-
example.
Minecraft has like a
That
lot
hero.
in it, right? Like,
Yeah.
how many blocks are there? Let's look this up. Let's take a guess. How many blocks of Minecraft? Let's guess.
526.
And
There's not that many unique blocks, is there?
526. That's what I'm going with.
I'm gonna say
There
under
are-
200.
How many blocks? Let me look at how many blocks. Let me look at blocks. How many? There are 775
Wow.
blocks as of the latest Java edition, and this is a comment from 3 years ago. So it is
What?
100% outdated. It is 100% outdated.
There's 800
3 years
now.
ago.
Oh, no.
And 3 years ago, there was 775. Okay.
Raw chicken blocks.
List of
Insane.
blocks.
Yeah,
Fuck,
more
I'm not-
more is not better in terms
Yeah.
of creating a deep and immersive game. Sorry.
If we're going off those 775 blocks, all right, how many of those blocks, percent base, do you think have an actual purpose outside of cosmetic look?
15%.
I'm going to go lower. I'm going to say 10%. Because there's also a lot that are just the same but cosmetically different, like
Yeah.
poke button, birch button, yada, 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 right?
I guess
Just because there's fucking 9,000 blocks, right, doesn't mean that the game's suddenly good. Like, what's that expression? Wide as an ocean, deep as a puddle? I like that.
Yeah.
What do you think, Alan?
I think Minecraft's a pretty cool game.
I don't disagree, Alan. Actually, I think you're onto something.
I think having blocks for cosmetic purposes is not bad on the face of it, you know.
No, I agree. I just don't think it makes your game
Yeah.
have more depth.
That doesn't
I-
intrinsically mean, though, that there's more depth to that as an argument, though. Just to say there are 9,000 cosmetic blocks doesn't instantly
Depends
mean
on what
there's
you
more
mean by
to that.
depth. It means you can do
Game
you have
gameplay
more
depth.
options for building.
Gameplay features for depth.
Well, if the gameplay is building and making things creatively, then I feel like having more options and more tools to use for that adds at least some depth.
Okay, so Alan, I have a game, right?
Mhm.
All of the characters have 100 movement options. Every single character has 100 movement options. 99 of them, if you use them in a fight, they will kill you instantly.
Okay.
Does the game have depth, more or less depth than a game with 10 movement options, but you can use all of them?
Less. There's only two options. You have the insta-kill move and the one that doesn't insta-kill.
Okay, so when I say kill you instantly, what I mean is like if you use them in a fight, they have such long in lag that they will all that you will lose the fight because they're just bad.
It kills the user instantly?
No. So like
They're not viable.
they're not viable. Yeah, like if you use them, you will die in a fight, in any sort of fight.
Okay, but like not everyone plays a game to min-max what's most efficient.
But no. So
Especially
saying,
with
like,
something like Minecraft.
it's not like
This
a,
isn't Minecraft.
yeah,
this is a fighting.
yeah. No,
game
I'm
talking
saying
about.
like we have like
Well,
I
a
should
fighting
have
game, you're not going to use any of those moves because it's a competitive game. You're trying to win.
Yeah, but that,
Yeah,
if
so
I
you
have a
min-max.
if I have a game with 10, if I have a fighting, I should have been specified. But if I have a fighting game with 10 moves, and all of those work and are viable and are useful, and can be used in a variety of situations, does that have more or less depth than my game with 100 moves, but only one of them is viable?
Well, I mean, literally, it has less depth, but like practically, it has more as terms of what people actually use.
That's just artificial depth, though, because everybody's just going to use the most.
I
meta.
agree.
Yeah, you should.
I agree that the depth
That's
matters.
not
is the
adding.
one that actually
That's
people
not
use,
good depth.
I guess we should have.
That's artificial.
that's kind of like has nothing to do with what I was talking about with Minecraft, but whatever.
If they want to go back to the Minecraft
We-
one,
no.
because like the cosmetic aspects of building blocks are fine, right? But like then you have
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like beetroot or cake or like
Things that
chorus
overlap.
fruit, things that like are just similarly outclassed in a category of food restoration that have zero purpose outside of that. Chorus fruit could have a use, a gimmicky use, right? Which is fine. But then beetroot, no use, right? Fish, no use, especially now because they got rid of ocelots. So another mob that has no use. Mobs are similar to rabbits,
They
no
got
use,
the
right?
ocelots.
There's no point. You can't tame ocelots anymore.
Mhm.
They're
Oh, really?
there's no
Yeah,
use.
you can
Yeah.
only get them from.
So
the
they
stray
still
cats
exist in
and
the game. There's more to do with them, technically, right? Like they're still there. There's more to the game, but there's nothing to do with it. So there's really little to change with the game from a mechanical aspect.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, I agree that food is one of the sections of Minecraft that really could use some work.
Alan, the reason why I made that comparison, by the way, was because you said that if there were more things in the game, then definitionally it had more depth. And you didn't, like, you were talking about Minecraft, but if you, I was applying that more broadly to everything.
No, I mean, like, if you have more options on how to do what the game is about doing, then you have at least marginally more depth. Whether or not people actually make use of that depends on what kind of game it is, right?
I don't agree. I think that if you have 100 options and you have versus 10 options, but the 10 options have more mechanical use than the 100 options.
You mean no one actually uses 98 of the options?
Like 98 of the options are the sun on a stick, and 2 of them are the direct hit. Versus 10 weapons in TF2 that are all like the direct hit or the flare gun or well-designed weapons. You know what I mean? That each have a variety of different uses and are multifaceted and have a high skill ceiling, low skill floor. You know what? This is why I push back against games that like boast about how.
I'm
many
not
weapons and
arguing that
options they have.
quantity is always better. Of course, quality matters.
Yeah.
But in a game like Minecraft, where what you're doing is building, if you have more customization options, more cosmetic options, you are adding
Yeah,
at
I
least
guess-
some depth. Was my
like I
argument.
said, that's fine. But like
Mhm.
like I said, if we're gonna look at like what a fucking melon slice does, right, in Minecraft
Yeah,
on like
yeah.
a greater scheme, why add that, right?
Yeah, and you would.
And I
Sorry.
was gonna say there is a difference between something being meta like depth wise, right, and something being like gimmicky or niche depth wise. Like
Mhm.
I'm gonna use TF2 as an example, right? Liberty Launcher, I think, does not have a very good depth because it's just a very bad rocket launcher. I don't want to get to like a massive argument about it, but like, you know what I'm getting, like very little reason to use it over something else, right?
Mhm.
Comparatively, Beggar's Bazooka, I fucking hate it, but it's a gimmicky enough thing where I could see like why somebody would use it for
Well, it
like
has
the
its own
novelty
niche.
aspect of it being
Yeah.
a gimmick.
It's it has its own niche. It can be used in situations other rocket launchers
Yeah.
can't. Yeah.
They're like going back to the items in the food thing. Chorus fruit, right? Fucking useless as food, but the teleporting thing is a gimmick. It's a good item, right?
Mhm.
Melon, useless as food, no other thing attached to it, bad item overall.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, and also, Alan, in regards to building, that is an argument for like creative depth, which is the whole game versus game engine thing. Those like a birch wood block and a spruce wood block have the same amount of mechanical depth, which is mostly what we're talking about. Like it's weird. It doesn't make Minecraft a better game. It really doesn't. It has nothing to do with it being a game. It just gives you more customization options for how you can build your house.
Do you say it doesn't make it a better game?
That doesn't make it a better game. It makes it a better game engine or a better way to create things.
Okay, I'm not gonna get onto the game engine shit again.
It does
I
not make
agree.
it better as a like a game, as in a. It doesn't make the challenge of survival or the process of surviving. It doesn't make that better. It just improves the amount of options you have when building things in the game.
Which is one of the main parts of the game. But
yeah,
I kind of like thinking about like a book. Is a book better because it has more pages or because the story is good? If you have like 1 out of every 10 pages being engaging and fulfilling in the story, and the other 9 are useless faff or just blank, cut them out.
Yeah.
I agree, but you're not reading a book. You're drawing a picture, and it's like you can have a pencil, or you can have a bunch of colored pencils. And if the game is trying to sell itself on, you can do whatever you can build or draw whatever you want. Then the one with colored pencils has more depth in the options that it gives you. Although I do recognize the value in working within some limitation, like, oh, you only have one pencil, you know?
Yeah, but with the colored pencils analogy, it'd be like if the contest were about making a paper airplane, and then we gave you one, and you could choose between having one pencil to customize your airplane or 10 colored pencils. It's like, yes, of course 10 colored pencils is better, but it doesn't make the process of making a paper airplane any more engaging, because it has nothing to do with that. Unless you want to get into, like, adding more weight using fucking colored pencil lead or something. I don't know. But you know what I mean? Like, it's entirely
compressed raw chicken block.
It's entirely
Yeah, but
custom. It's not has
that's
nothing to
two
do with the
different
gameplay.
kinds of games. One of them is you're making a paper airplane. One of them is you are making a drawing.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, on this, Minecraft is like the first one. The house
Paper airplane?
It is about, it's like making a paper airplane that you get to draw on. Because the paper airplane serves the purpose of giving you shelter. The paper airplane's a house, and it serves the purpose of giving you shelter. You get to use whatever blocks you want to make that paper airplane. But the actual function of making a house doesn't get more depth because you added more customization options to it.
I think it does, because you can get into more complex building styles. And, like, if you only have stone and dirt in the game, what am I going to do? I'm going to make a box.
Yes. And, like, if you have more building options, you still will make a box if your goal is to survive the night. That's what you do. Like, you can do more. It's better that you can do more, but it doesn't add more mechanical depth to surviving the night.
That's one thing that Eco does that I really like, is that once you put a chair in your room, it gives you more XP daily.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I do wish there was some way in which it would incentivize making a house that actually looks like a house, but it's hard to do that in Minecraft with
They
houses.
have Minecraft that add chairs of any sort, but that's a no-go. That's a we're never doing this in a bajillion years thing, apparently. So,
I guess my perspective with Minecraft is it's the incentive to do stuff. It comes from within you. Oh, I want to build that house. It's not. It's very much a sandbox game, you know.
Yeah.
The game doesn't push you in a direction very hard.
I don't want to get it twisted. I would rather have those building blocks than not have them. I'm not saying like I want them out of the game. I'm just saying they don't add depth. They add options, which is good in a different way, but I would never say that they add depth. That's like a weird thing to say, because they don't have any bearing on they are purely cosmetic. Aside from
I feel like it adds depth in that you're able to be more creative. You're able to make more things because you have more things to put together.
Yeah, but to the game part, that's not the game part of Minecraft.
I don't know what the game part of Minecraft is then.
Like the overcoming of a challenge.
It's never hard to survive the night.
Yeah.
There's no challenge in Minecraft.
I think that's just opinion of what you do in Minecraft. That is install RL craft. And the challenge of surviving the night is more prevalent than building.
Alan, do you think TF2 having more cosmetics gives it more depth? I'm curious.
Probably some.
See, we fundamentally disagree. I don't agree at all.
No, it's like a different kind of depth because people play TF2 for the shooting the enemy part of the game, right?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, is that it's not depth. The cosmetic part, there's no lose condition in the cosmetic part of TF2.
Maybe I'm just a builder in Minecraft, but like a big part of the game of Minecraft is build the house, right? So if you add more options to building the house, you've increased the depth of the game. I would say a smaller part of TF2 is customize your character. So if you add more cosmetics to the game, there is more depth. Whether or not those cosmetics are good or not is kind of a different conversation. But
I wouldn't, like, if they added like 20 more colors of wool to Minecraft, I'd be like, well, that's good for like pixel artists and people who are willing to use that. That's all well and good, you know. It's just it doesn't add more depth to the game, like the game part of Minecraft. It's just building cosmetics. It's all superficial.
I don't know if this has been said, but I think building and allowing players to have a wide range of materials to build whatever they want is part of Minecraft's depth. So I think adding a lot of cosmetic blocks is fine. But when you add a block that or an item that has a specific function and there are other options that are simply better and are wasteful and kind of take up and have no useful space, then that counts as not adding additional depth.
I agree.
I think the ocelot analogy is better than the block one. Well, it just exists.
Why'd they make them untamable? What's the rationale there?
Because they made cats spawn in villages instead now. So just get a cat from there.
What?
You don't have to go tame one from the jungle.
Weird.
But I will say, I disagree. Cosmetics do not add depth to TF2 because they don't, or at least I should say 99.9999% of the time, they don't impact gameplay. There are a handful of cosmetics that do, either intentionally or unintentionally. So I would call that as extraneous faff that the game never needed to be good and does not need to be good and mechanically deep and engaging.
Well, I agree. It doesn't affect, or at least it shouldn't affect the mechanics of the game. And whether or not it should be in the game in the first place is kind of a different discussion. But the fact that some people like playing dress up with their mercenaries. That's a part of the game.
The game is not meant to be a dress-up game.
No, and I understand that. However, if you add more options to that facet of the game, then that game has more depth. It's not mechanical depth, but definitionally more deep.
I disagree when it comes to a cosmetic addition to a video game. I don't think you can assign the word depth to that.
But see, Zesty...
Well, he said mechanical depth and not customizational depth, which is the main thing. If we're going to go ahead and say customize it's a good line to, like, say, I can have a gazillion different weapon skins, which are, like, different, like, creative or a cosmetic depth, but there's no mechanical depth if they're all, like, the same gun, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
See, that was my point with the whole, with what I was saying about the blocks. It was because to me it's the same thing. All the blocks serve the same function, or I shouldn't say all of them, but a lot of the blocks serve the same function in terms of gameplay. They have customizational depth in the sense that they add more options to how you can build things, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how they affect gameplay and the mechanical depth or what they add to the progression system, stuff like that. And that's why I compare it to TF2's
But the thing about
cosmetics.
Minecraft, though, is the building and creating your own spaces in the world and buildings, whatever. That's like part of the game. That is
or a greater part of the game.
Or that is I would say that's like one of the biggest facets of the game outside of like the mechanics for just directly interacting with the world, you know? So I don't think that type of cosmetic can be compared, or I should say that type of depth related to cosmetics can't be compared to TF2's cosmetics, because it's two completely different things. Because like you could remove cosmetics from TF2 and it would not affect the game at all, whereas you could remove purely cosmetic options and blocks from Minecraft and it would have a negative impact on the game because there's that fewer options to build something in the world and customize it.
You would you would say that it would have a greater impact. It would affect the game in TF2. It would.
Yeah. It would affect it from like a performance standpoint. It would like make the game run smoother if that's what you.
Well,
mean.
no. I mean, like it would, because what you're saying, right? Let's, because I don't think this is correct, or at least not in the way I'm understanding it. If you're customizing a mercenary, right, and suddenly you removed all the cosmetics from the game, you can no longer customize the mercenaries at all. Then that would affect the game, or that would affect the game, right?
How?
As in, like, you can no longer that option has been removed. That part of the
that is a part of the game.
That is a part of the game.
Yeah.
You're just.
But it doesn't change anything massive with the game in terms of its mechanics. Like, it'll play the game the same as before. There's no like mechanical difference with the game. It's all cosmetic.
How you interact with the game, the characters, the world, the environment has not changed at all if you remove cosmetics from TF2. Whereas in Minecraft, that's the opposite. It does affect how you interact with the world and change it around to your and change it to your liking.
How?
Well, for example, because for now you can't build a yellow brick road. Now you have to use a red brick because yellow wool doesn't exist now, right? That's like that's an option for world interaction, which is a big part of Minecraft that has been removed. Whereas, if hats are gone, that does not change how you interact with other characters in the game at all.
Yeah, but what if there's a like 20 different shades of yellow wool? Like what if we add more yellow wool to the game?
And you get
I don't see why there is. I'm kind of
Yeah.
surprised there isn't a color picker yet for Minecraft. Why not just throw that in there?
Do you think that would add more depth if they did?
For the building aspect of the game, which is a huge part of it, yes.
Okay.
You hit a point of diminishing returns, right? Like you only need so many shades of yellow, but
So we are saying
is technically more depth.
then we are saying more options does equal more depth then.
Depending,
Well,
it's
no,
nuanced,
point.
right? Because for Minecraft, when it comes to like cosmetic blocks, yes, but when it comes because that's baked in as like one of the core mechanics of the game is building stuff to fit your taste and your visual style. You can get as immersive or as intense with it as you desire, but it is part of the game. But other games where for cosmetic wise for TF2 where that doesn't impact gameplay at all, then they can't be compared.
So if Minecraft's more blocks is good because building is a core part of Minecraft's design, then isn't more weapons in TF2 inherently more depth for the same reason?
Okay, so now we're moving to a completely different argument here. We're
Why?
not talking about like cosmetic, or we're not talking about cosmetic things anymore. So in that argument, yes, simply adding more weapons because the mercs use weapons is not a good thing to do because then it adds bloat, right?
I would still say it is theoretically more depth in like the prime scenario that they are all different from one another, regardless of how like viable the weapons would be.
You said
intrinsically more depth.
You said that the blocks in Minecraft were more depth because they were gameplay based. Why is the same not true for TF2? I don't get it.
He said it is the same. It's just as bloated at a point where it just becomes redundant.
Is that not true for Minecraft? Is that not true for Minecraft too?
I don't think you can't compare guns to colored blocks because you can't compare building a house to shooting someone. These are two very different things.
But they're both intrinsically related to the gameplay loops of both games. And like if you're going to add more of one,
it really is apples and oranges because like there is no gameplay detriment to adding more colors of wool, whereas in TF2 there is a gameplay detriment to adding more guns.
There is absolutely a gameplay detriment to maybe not adding more colors of wool, to adding more kinds of stone that fill up my fucking inventory when I go down into the mine shaft.
But then that becomes an inventory problem and not necessarily an amount of blocks problem.
If you were to, I guess, like if you were to, you could just make the inventory infinite or categorize things differently. I suppose.
Like a better way to manage that volume of materials, right? Because in my opinion, it's a good thing that they add more cosmetic blocks in the game. But the problem is that like the means by which you interact with shit in your inventory hasn't been updated to accommodate for just basic quality of life things that would be infinitely better to have. Then it becomes a problem. But for instance, right? If you install mods in the game that improve your inventory, suddenly that volume of blocks becomes a good thing. It's not a problem anymore. See what I mean?
I guess there is another solution. All right.
We're adding the bundle, guys. We're adding the bundle. Bojang just called me. We're adding the bundle. We can go home.
I'll concede, Zesty. I hate the amount of block bloat in Minecraft
because I do too. Trust me, it's one of the main reasons why I stopped playing the game. But I think the problem, now that I think about it more, isn't the volume of blocks. It's the means by which you move them around.
Well, yeah,
the means by which you interact with them. It really is the fucking inventory system.
I agree. I guess I'll just concede. I think you're right. It's just it frustrates me to no end.
No, and it frustrates me too, right? Because like, and in the same sense, it frustrates me with TF2, right? Where they if you kept adding more shit, then it becomes redundant. You have these things that are impacting game balance that are really not providing anything new or unique, and it's more shit you have to take into account. It just becomes a big spaghetti bowl of too much shit. And then also they go discarded most of the time because people return to the same handful of mechanics. So what's the fucking point?
Yeah, I guess I just want like me and Alan were developing a Minecraft-esque game a very long time ago now. And one of the things I wanted to accomplish when we were developing that was so that every block had not only a cosmetic purpose but a gameplay purpose. And that like maybe not that all the blocks were equally as important, but that every block in the game had some relevance to the gameplay loop. And if there were any cosmetic alterations, like if there were variants of that block, they could be accessed just by having the block in your inventory.
Sure.
So like if you have wool, you don't need dye. Or or if you do need dye, you just have dye in your inventory and you can just place red wool instantly. You don't have to craft it or anything. It doesn't become a separate block.
I see.
But that and I guess that is kind of an inventory issue if you put it that way from a gameplay perspective. But yeah. Anyways, that was a good tangent. What was that, like 30 minutes? That was good.
So, and also that's something else too. So someone pointed out something very good in chat, which is something I've baked into my next video I'm working on a little bit. You have a similar problem with alternative game modes in TF2, like pastime, manpower versus Saxton Hail, zombie infection, where they throw even more mechanics on top of the existing ones by adjusting how these things behave in different game modes. And then that just adds even more shit to the top of the pile that people have to learn or relearn and accommodate for and adjust the way they interact with the game to where it now becomes a chore to interact with these other extra outside spheres of the game. And it turns people off.
Yeah.
Which is why more is usually not better, especially when they have heavy impacts on the flow of the game.
All right, I have conceded more is better, specifically in regards to Minecraft having more blocks.
Well, not even just Minecraft, right? It depends on what you're talking about. Like when it comes to Minecraft's blocks, the big part of being building shit, sure. If you had like another game, like let's say like an art-based game, right? This goes back to like the colored pencils argument, right? It would be better if it was an art-based game to have just a color picker, right?
Yeah.
Like why limit players' options when the point is to draw?
Such art,
you know what I mean?
Such art does that. For those who know that game, that's something it does. But yeah, no, yeah. Would you look at that? We disagreed. Everyone pack it up, go home. We did it.
It's over. Episode done. We have to fight each other with giant ear cleaners now. American Gladiator style.
Hero shooters also have various customization options for the heroes, like weapons specific to that hero, or being able to specialize into different abilities or niches of that hero.
Who the fuck made a condom analogy? Did I miss something? Anyway, sorry. I think someone made a condom analogy to try and explain.
Probably somewhere in chat.
Yes.
Oh, here we go. Someone said, "I'd say zombie infection and versus Saxon Hill like condoms. They're fun for a bit, but you toss them away for what you stick for, and that's always been there." Funny.
That's a good analogy. You know, Minecraft has over 800 condoms. That's crazy.
Which furthers the points of depth and variety in gameplay, which increases the longevity of the game, giving players more to master and experience in their preferred playstyle or
Thing is, I hate that. The thing is, it's like, again, more options is not good. Make your baseline set of mechanics really deep that reward a player's time. That's the better way to go about it, instead of just throwing shitloads more options on top. And it just turns into a fucking mess, like, right? Because you can just only play with the shotgun in TF2 and get really good with the shotgun.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't, and you can have 8,000 hours in the shotgun, but you're always improving with the shotgun. You know what I mean? Like that, it's better to have a smaller subset of deep mechanics than a huge variety of some deep, some not.
And I guess oh, sorry, you go, Space Guy.
I was gonna say, I'm just confused by this video in general, because he did like a good 2-minute section of this arguing that hero and class-based shooters are intrinsically different, but like the same, like a circle within a circle. But then, like, why spend all that time arguing like that they are the same if you're just gonna reach the same conclusion that they are like fundamentally different? You know what I mean? Like, grander scheme, the same thing. I don't care if you call them hero or class-based shooters, because at the end of the day, if you call one, I know what you mean. It's like going up to like a fucking metalhead and saying, yeah, this is a thrash metal versus this is like deep metal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Deep
like
metal.
There's subgenres. You know what I mean? Like, I get what you're saying.
This is oxidized metal.
This is uranium.
Hate
this
that engineer let out.
francium. I don't get why he spent like so long like saying like they're the same guys. Look at all these differences, but they're the same. Like, okay, all right. And like even now he's doing it right now, where he's saying that loadouts. I feel like are an intrinsic part of class-based shooters. Plants vs Zombies kind of had the same thing. TF2, Deep Rock Galactic, where the base abilities of the character are the same. It's just that one or two components about them are switched around, compared to hero shooters, which are, if you play a different hero, you have an entirely different skill set and set of abilities that generally follow a similar archetype, right? Like a support class is the same support archetype, but the methods of doing that are completely different compared to like something else, you know?
Yeah, and then something else to be said about loadouts is you can still offer a limited number of options, say 6 weapons for 3 slots, and then 2 for each, but then you have a whole variety of combinations you can use that aren't adding more mechanics on top of the game and causing bloat, but adding more mechanical depth and making a game more immersive because you're trying out different combinations of things. Like that's another good way to handle. Like if you want to add on more mechanics to your game, try a loadout system or something similar where you're not throwing more shit on the pile, but giving players more like combinations and options to use.
I think the only class-based shooter you should be playing, buddy, is grade 5 geometry.
Grade 5 geometry? Shit. Are you smart? Are you smarter than a 5th grader?
I'm not, because I don't have an
Was that
American
school-
mindset. So
was
they
that
ask
school
me like
shooting, Joe?
fucking bullshit questions like,
Damn.
in what state is like what are the 4 presidents on Mount Rushmore, and what state is Mount Rushmore in?
Oh, I love
I
geometry.
cannot tell you that off the top of my
And
head.
what is the volume of a sphere?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Need to know
True
some
story,
things.
true story, true
Or
story.
inspired you.
I was on an American trivia game show one time, like not like actual game show, but it was like a contest, right? It was trivia, and they asked me like, "What is this currency?" And it was a loonie, and I said it was a loonie,
Oh.
and they said, "Wrong. That's a Canadian dollar." Fucking no, it's not. Like we have actual names for our currency here. All right, it's a fucking loonie, and if there's 2 of them, then it's a toonie. All right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, Canadians do everything weird. So true.
Actually, fucking American bias, man, bro.
American bias.
Like fucking everybody else uses the same system, but like no, you gotta feel special, bro. We gotta use Fahrenheit instead of Celsius.
I also hate the British units. I don't like them. I wish we used Fahrenheit. Or rather, I wish we used CMK instead of the other ones.
Why don't we just use Kelvin?
Because Kelvin is not practical for
Kelvin is so
normal
practical.
life.
Kelvin is so practical. You know how hot it is in Kelvin right now?
5.
You want to go? You want to go? You want to go really deep? We can go to, what is this? So where is this? What was it called again? Hold on, I'm trying to refresh my memory on this other temperature scale. Ah, yeah. You can use the Rankine scale. How about Rankins instead of Fahrenheit, Celsius, or Kelvin?
I'm gonna use a Scovillian scale. Can you do
Colvilles instead.
Yeah. I'm gonna stick my tongue out, be like, it tastes pretty hot here.
Yeah, let's use the Rankine scale, where water's boiling point is 671 degrees Rankine.
That's such a good idea.
Totally good number. I don't even know what it's like. What's like the baseline for? Because like Kelvin is like is based around absolute 0. Celsius is 100 at boiling water and 0 at freezing, and then Fahrenheit's
121, I think.
I don't know.
I think it's 121. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100%.
I don't know. I use Celsius primarily. Well, yeah. So boiling water at Fahrenheit is 212. But like, what's it based on, right? Because like the standard for Celsius is like, 100 is water boiling, 0 is freezing. Kelvin is 0 is absolute 0, where all molecular motion stops. And then Fahrenheit, what's its reference? I don't know. Can someone refresh my memory? What Fahrenheit's reference is? Like, what is there a purpose for it? Like a 0 or 100? Like, we don't know.
It's supposed to be internal body temperature compared to like water, water, that thing that everybody fucking needs to live. And that
is that the standard they use
for Celsius? Yeah.
I'm talking Fahrenheit, dude.
Oh, internal. Yeah, no, internal body temperature is Fahrenheit.
Yeah, internal body temperature is Fahrenheit. Okay. I'm taking your word for it because I don't know.
I mean, he compared it to 0 is the combined freezing temperature of brine. 30 is the freezing point of regular water. 90 is body temperature, and 240 the boiling points of water. Yeah,
I'm just googling it.
That's the key point.
So Fahrenheit is based off of the temperature of brine made from ice, water, and salt, and 0 as the lowest temperature you could achieve by mixing ice, salt, and water. Okay, all right, that's why it's fucked.
Yeah, the other limit establishes the best estimate of the average human body temperature, which is also kind of fucking stupid.
So dumb. It's based off of, okay, how much salt, how much water?
Yeah, why fucking salt water? What's the fuck?
Well, because salt lowers the freezing point.
I know. No, I know. I don't get why that is like, that's what we're referencing off. That's the baseline point. They had water there as 30 is the freezing point. and they have 240 as the boiling point. I don't know why they were like, let's use brine as the fucking as 0. You know what I mean? Why that? I gotta look at the history for this. Let's carry on with the video. Let's carry on. I'm gonna do this in the back.
Okay.
This is a new video for your channel. Temperature scales explained.
Can't wait.
Experience in their preferred
There is no
playstyle
answer.
or preferred heroes. Outside of the gameplay, having an assortment of identities can, of course, help get players invested in the universe, lore, and most importantly, the community of a game.
Oh my gosh, is
And
that
when
weapon
done
stereotypes? Is that weapon stereo? Sorry, I had a moment. It was weapon stereotypes.
If you want to have sex with half the roster, you've made a good game.
Yeah.
Easy.
Oh, Space Guy, are you aware we're doing a tier list at the end of this? How attractive the Overwatch characters are?
Oh, okay.
We're gonna get into some fucking fist fights over this. I hope y'all are ready.
All right, I'm gonna win.
I think.
Oh,
Zesty's
Richter, fuck off.
help get players invested in the universe, lore, and most importantly, the community of a game. And when done well, will drastically improve the gameplay experience as well. I could not imagine how much lamer some of these games would be even just to play without all the individual personalities, never mind the effect it has outside the gameplay. Although these specific
He's not
games-
wrong, because if, if all of TF2's mercenaries were just like gray blobs, would you still play the game?
Yeah, no, I don't
Probably
disagree with the point, but it's also just like, do you like things to be more creative and like interesting or not? Like,
Okay, so then we're getting to the point of like, how much thought do they put into the character design? Is it cohesive? Does it make sense?
well, I guess,
You know?
I guess, but like, this also goes back to the gray blob. Like, do you want the thing to be interesting or not? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
It's
It's a pretty low bar to meet, right?
I don't know why that was brought up.
It's a low bar to meet.
Zesty, I think that if the TF2 were like Splatoon, where I could like spec into different classes by picking different weapons, but they were all one person, I'd probably still be playing the game.
Well, thing is, but of course, but in like, hold on, give me a second to form my thought here. Splatoon still has visually pleasing characters, right? Like it's still a visually pleasing characters in a visually pleasing world. Like it still brings you in. Like you're brought into a game typically by how it looks, and then you stick around for how it plays.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
If the game looks like shit and doesn't appeal to you visually at first glance, you're like, oh, why would I ever play this?
Yeah, of course. I just yeah, I think that TF2 could have gone the route of every character isn't its own character, but like an avatar that the player creates, and it would still.
Sure, I mean, yeah, that goes to something like Open Fortress, where you just have like the generic mercenary bumbling around, you know?
Yeah. It was just a thought. I don't think TF2 would be better. By the way, I think it would probably be worse off for it. I think TF2's
for sure, I agree.
characters are one of the things that make it so recognizable, iconic, etc. But I do think it still would be a good game gameplay wise, and probably still very investing regardless. That's all.
Oh, of course. And then someone says Concord in chat. Yeah, you can have a cast of characters, but shitty designs that no one likes. It's like, damn.
Like entirely beige fucking soldier character. How the fuck? Whose idea was that? Entirely beige character, like the worst, most boring color.
Hey, watch
yourself. They did not hire their best. They did not hire the best to make that game, and the final product shows for it.
They didn't even hire the worst, because I hired the worst, it would be memorable for being bad. It's just like they hired the most average, you know?
Don't you dare talk shit about
It's just a really, really bad game. Really bad.
Don't talk shit.
Like, it's not hard to make a character interesting. You just made them ugly and unappealing in every way, shape, and form. The mechanics recycled and boring. Just not a good game, and it rightfully died as a result. Make bad game, don't get sales.
No
Sucks.
way. Could never believe it.
Something I still get a good chuckle about is like the game was such an abysmal failure. It sold like 30,000 copies, 35,000 copies, something to that effect.
Mm-hmm.
And then the game was sold for like $70, right?
Yeah.
So $70 at 30,000 copies is $2.1 million roughly.
Yeah.
And so what does that translate into? That translates into less than 1% of the money they spent on the game earned back.
That's
just really fucking bad.
One of the biggest proportional bombs in gaming history.
Probably. Yeah, and and they offered refunds, so they lost some of that money too. They had to give some of that back.
Yeah.
Horrible. Very funny.
never mind the effect it has outside the gameplay. Although these specific games had profound impact on the gaming landscape, the impact the characters had on the culture absolutely cannot be overstated.
You don't listen. You don't have the soul with Overwatch characters. TF2 characters have the soul. Overwatch has the even TF2 has porn, but Overwatch only has porn. Sorry, you don't have the same soulful level of animations and charm.
I was gonna say some characters.
Some
In more
characters.
recent times. Yeah,
It's not nearly. It's not even anywhere close to what TF2 has. Sorry.
I think it's like here's 9 characters full of personality, and then here's like ad infinitum characters that are all meant to be dynamic. It's a lot harder to do.
And the characters now, granted, I think this is an issue with like Overwatch casted a much broader net from a marketing perspective. So a lot of its characters are milquetoast and don't have any edge or personality to them. But that being said, if Overwatch were like 5 characters or 9 characters, and they picked like the 9 best characters, I think they'd be better. Maybe not close, but better. I think TF2's characters are just really good. It's like comparing, comparing a really good like artist in college to the Mona Lisa. It's just kind of unfair.
Thank you, Guy in chat. Can I read that chat? Because that super chat, it makes me happy.
Yes, sure. Go for it.
I want to say it. So when I complain about ugly cosmetics, I get crucified. But when the entire internet complains about ugly characters, they get praised. Oh, so true. But listen, no, fuck you. Someone liked the Concord character design. So you know what? Fuck you. Your entire point is invalidated because one person liked it. Therefore, the whole game is okay.
I liked, I really, really like the color beige, and I think Space Guy making fun of it hurt my feelings.
Concord characters.
I'll kill you.
Beige sucks.
Beige and brown is like my entire clothing. My entire
Spell
clothing
beige.
look. BEIGE.
Repeat that in here.
BEIGE.
I didn't even take a moment to really appreciate the character designs in Concord. I'm scrolling through each one right now. They're really, really bad.
Hold on, let's grab the Concord character design.
They're
real quick.
so ugly and unappealing. This one is just a beige. Yeah, you're right. It's just a beige soldier with a rocket launcher. Holy
beige
shit.
shoulder with a rocket. I told you, it's so bad. We have. We also have. We couldn't get the license for Shrek. We got this one. Couldn't get Shrek licensed. Why is it so small?
Oh god. Just These are
very bad character designs. Fuck the silhouette problem. This is rough.
It was a good side by side of read. We got guys. TM.
what is this meant to be?
Show the beige shoulder.
I want to read. I can't read these descriptions out loud because they're just so bad. I can't read them out loud. I'd get crucified.
Yeah, it seems rough.
So I'm just gonna say it. One of the characters is described as a Polynesian powerhouse.
Okay, time out. What
Boom,
the fuck?
Selling point. Good. Now I'm gonna play your game now.
Have you noticed, unironically, that games have been doing that more recently? I can name okay, I don't know what it is. So there's Concord, Polynesian powerhouse, Apex Legends, Polynesian powerhouse, fucking Overwatch 2, Polynesian. What is with it? Why is it the same archetype? You know what I mean? It's like the black guy superhero things having electricity powers. What the fuck's with that? You notice that? I'm not just making this up, right?
No, you're right. I observe. I am the observer. I see it happening.
Moana.
I'm the noticer.
It was
a Polynesian video game character.
It's the Moana effect. You guys don't understand. It all traces back.
I want to comment on this really bad, but I can't because it's Lucid stream. I'm not going to say anything. I know why they're doing it, but I'm not going to say why.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Everyone, we don't need to say what's been said. I think
that's true. These fucking ugly characters. This is just a dude. This is just a guy with hockey pads and a fucking gun and a headset and a different colored eye. Congratulations. I don't want to play this guy.
This is the future you chose.
Blue Hulk with a red face.
He's a big guy for you.
For you.
So someone might be asking why he would sell them a game if they just plan to refund it 2 minutes later.
Minute of Overwatch. But I'm gonna name so many. Ana, pass. Hey, Mercy, Ash, Bridget. Wait a minute.
What is this?
Pass.
This is naming all the characters from Overwatch.
Yeah, this is a video of this is a famous video of someone just being able to name all the female characters, can't name a single male character.
I mean, yeah, that's how it works,
lol,
right?
Lol porn.
When 90% of a video game's player base, or not, so like statistically, 90% of gamers are men. What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, of course.
Right?
There's only two extremes. You can either go like big booty bitches, or you can go
Buff men.
big buff men, and like that's the appeal. You can't go in between.
I want big buff men in my games. Only big buff men.
And yet you still install.
That's why I love
Vampiro.
that's why I love
That's
TF2.
wild.
Listen, I need a little bit of variety. TF2's got too many dudes. I need a little woman every now and again. But listen, I love the men. Men are great. Love my big burly dudes.
I love the men. The men are great. I love the men. They're doing a great job down there. Love the men. Love the women too. Love them all.
Yep.
Like, love the men. The men are great. Just so fucking.
They're great. Doing a great job. I love the great men in this world.
Just note, apparently, according to this screen, this text right here, P-Bean seems to agree. So, good job. Also, the texture on that newspaper is non-existent.
That's the Half-Life 2 newspaper.
Yeah.
It is
Sonic
actually.
Adventure. Sonic
You
Adventure
are
has
not a
this
real
paper.
Half-Life 2 fan. Because
I
I know
am.
for a fact, if you were to look at the side Heavy was reading, it would say 17-hour war over. Okay? Fake fan.
I never claimed to be a
Fake
Half-Life fan.
fan.
I've never played the
Fake
Half-Life
fan.
games. I have them. Haven't
Fake
played them.
fan. Buddy, what's your favorite game? TF2, what's that called again? Let me just look at Half-Life 2.exe. Fake fan over here.
Favorite game is The Blob.
Fake TF2 fan over here. It's not his favorite game.
That's so real.
Not real.
So real.
Grifter.
Ugh.
It really seems like a good idea to add an
It has been catching up, by the way. I might as well update everyone on my Steam hours. I recently reached 620 in
Not good enough.
in
6,000
TF2.
minimum.
It's catching up to my most played game on Steam, which is The Blob. It's very, very scary.
Not good enough,
very
Lucid.
sad.
Sorry. I will only respect anything you have to say when you have 60,000 hours. In
Yeah,
TF2.
I'm
Otherwise-
sorry. Okay, I'll leave the game open, walk away, go get
look.
curry right after this.
Listen,
I'll-
Grifter, I don't believe you.
I'm gonna.
Started playing the game in like 2 weeks ago. Bad opinions, wrong.
Yeah, it's so real, actually.
I'm gonna go write a 7.5-page manifesto on 4chan about why your videos suck because you only have 600 hours in TF2.
That's probably
I
been done.
got an important question for chat because I don't play many of the final. I've never played a Final Fantasy game like firsthand. The Final Fantasy game with the guy who does like the bad laugh goes like ah ha 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 ha. That one.
Mhm.
The guy with the guy who goes like all beds more like all deads. That guy. Somebody in chat, please. What's his role in Final Fantasy? The Polynesian guy with the headband who plays
Waka?
the ball game. Waka, yeah. What's his role? What's his archetype? What's he do in the game? Is he a character that does shields? Is he a shield character? Is he a defensive heavy hitter?
Why do you need to know this, Space Guy? I need to know.
I need to know this just because there's a trend going on.
Okay, I'm just gonna hit the play button.
interesting lineup of losers to pick from for your game. Is there any downsides? Well, there are some.
What are the cons?
So in preparation for this video, I talked to a lot of friends, people in games I play, and in
Where the fuck is Alan, by the way? Alan, say something important right now. Say something. I know you're playing World of Warships. Stop playing World of Warships.
I'm not. You know nothing apparently.
You're
It's a
playing
ranged
EU4.
character. Damn.
You're staring at the screen with glassed eyes. I need you to say something.
Register to vote.
What? No! You can't get political on my stream.
Political.
Get him out of here.
He plays Blitzball, right? That's the name of the
I
game.
can't believe.
like-
I can't believe you just told people to vote. Get the fuck out of here.
How dare you tell?
Okay.
I will not be silenced.
How dare you tell people to participate in their governments
What the
that,
fuck?
that affect their daily lives? How dare you say that?
You're clearly telling people to vote in a specific direction. You're a dirty dog whistler. I hate you. What are you
voting
doing?
is what label can we ascribe to voting?
Individualist.
True. How dare you?
Now, what the fuck?
Chat Walk is voiced by John DiMaggio, right? I'm not. That happened, right?
Joe DiMaggio, the baseball player.
John DiMaggio, the dog, the bender.
Discord servers as
The
well as
dog bender?
watching a few-
Wait, what? The dog bender?
Yeah, it's like firebenders.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Dog whisperer.
I don't like. What? Space guys, shut the fuck up.
I don't know what's happening either. I'm just chiming in. I think it's funny.
I think it's funny too, but like, what the fuck?
friends, people in games I play and in Discord servers, as well as watching a few videos about hero shooters and the problem with hero shooters. Spoiler alert, there's more than one problem, and also all of these videos talk about different problems. And I think I can save us all some time by summarizing.
Hold on. There's more than one problem. Also, all these videos go over other problems, which is a problem with all these videos because there's more than one problem.
Well,
one of these videos
you never
has
said
425 views. I don't think that's like picking up track. I think. Okay.
Yeah, this is a weird. Like, oh, all of these videos have different problems with hero shooters, and there are multiple problems. But there are 3 videos, and that's multiple. So maybe they're doing. It's a weird thing to target these videos for.
Yeah, these videos are bad
Is he
because
even targeting? I think he's just saying that there are. I don't even know anymore.
Well, the
These videos
asterisk
aren't
implies that
generally
he's saying it in a
agreeable.
negative way.
These are also very small viewed videos. No
Yeah,
offense, but I feel like-
425,
yeah.
7,000, 2.9.
I feel like if hero shooters have a very large fundamental problem, there would be like a 100K video based on it, to be honest.
I just got to have a big YouTuber make it, but big YouTubers don't like being controversial because that impacts revenue and views.
I
love this game. Oh, look, wow, I'm going to play as a new character. Let me go, whoop! You know, they have to do that shit.
Yeah, and the new character's Birdo from Mario 2.
When are they going to add Birdo to Overwatch?
I would also play a movement-based hero shooter with all of the characters being... There are 2 classes, Yoshi and Birdo. And Birdo shoots...
That's just
shoots,
Mario Tennis, dummy.
Birdo shoots eggs out of nose. Yoshi
That's
throws
just Mario
eggs.
Double Dash, dummy.
Yoshi
Give me
throws
a
eggs.
Doom 2016 style Metroid game, and I will put your cock so far down my throat that it touches the stomach acid.
Shut the
If someone does that for me, yes.
I
Like-
want a Mario movement shooter, actually, now that the more we're talking about it, I just want that.
They made Mario XCOM. It's like, it could be in the works.
It could be. It would be good. If they made a Mario-style Overwatch clone, it would sell so fucking fast.
Yes, it would.
Oh my
Yes, it
gosh.
would.
That's actually
Dude,
a $1 million idea.
They made Pokemon League and they made Mario XCOM. Like, they could be doing it for all we know.
They
True.
could be, and it could be good. I might stop boycotting Nintendo just for that.
Switch
with
to
hero
you guys.
shooters. Spoiler alert, there's more than one problem, and also all of these videos talk about different problems. And I think I can save us all some time by summarizing the 4 big problems people have with this genre. Some were there from the start, some from the very start, and some have arisen from the
What is the difference between the start and the,
The
very
start,
start? I want to know.
The
Yeah.
start is 2016. The very start
Yeah,
is
yeah.
2007.
The coining of the term, and then TF2 was the very start, and now he's kind of hopscotching around, but
And the very,
I get what
very
he did
start
there.
was chess.
That was the Big Bang.
True.
No, that's the very, very, very start.
people have with this genre. Some were there from the start, some from the very start, and some have arisen from the modern hero shooter climate. The first problem is balance. Obviously, balancing a game becomes more difficult the more features, heroes, weapons, abilities, etc. that are added, and hero shooters are notorious for their endless cycles of nerfs, buffs, reworks, and other balance changes.
Yes.
Okay. I not that I disagree with the point, but this affects every game if you just update it.
Just a multiplayer.
You know,
this is a
This is
multiplayer
just
thing.
not even a multiplayer thing. This is just I updated the game and added a new feature. That new feature will either be good or bad, right? In comparison to everything else around it. Okay. And if it's good, then it's more like it just makes everything else prior to that redundant. If it's bad, then why would I add it in the first place, right? It's just bloat. There's no like in between. This is not a hero shooter problem. This is a problem of games as a whole.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think it's greatly exacerbated in hero shooters though, just by the sheer volume of shit that's in the game at one time, and it's probably the most prevalent and evident in a hero shooter.
Do you think?
I would say MOBAs are worse.
I was gonna
for
say,
that.
do you think it's better or worse than MOBAs?
So I would say definitely better than what MOBAs have to deal with.
Okay, then yeah, I think that MOBAs and fighting games probably both have it worse than hero shooters.
Yeah.
So allow me to generalize this. I think any PvP game with a shitload of mechanical choice, a shitload of choices for mechanics, suffer from this problem.
Yeah, but that's why I said like multiplayer games are going to suffer from this problem across the board. It's not really a hero shooter specific
Rats
thing.
Instigate.
Rats I guess.
One mechanic, one gun.
One yes. You said you were generalizing. Well, so am I. There are exceptions, but they're very rare.
I would say, do you think it's better or worse? Because like in a class-based shooter or like a shooter like Call of Duty where they add more things? Because I'm of the opinion that if you add class-based, it's worse because there's more ground line interactable things that have like a precedent. If like Call of Duty adds like a new gun and it's the meta, which they do like once every 2 fucking months, right? Everybody's using that, right? It doesn't really like impact the game beyond that.
Yeah.
It's
either like you have it and you're fucked, or you do have it and it's just like the standard game now.
It's
you know?
probably
Yeah, I
more
agree.
total in a game like Call of Duty, whereas in a game like Overwatch, it's like more of a, oh, you realize you're getting fucked, but it's like a gradual fuck. Like the strokes are longer and slower as opposed to being like hard and fast, you know?
Because they had one new character and there's just one of the new character on both teams compared to everybody running around the map with the same gun.
Not gonna engage with my sex metaphor, huh? Just gonna move past
No,
it.
I'm not going to engage with it because I agree.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Also, what game's on my screen right now?
Paladins.
Okay.
If you ask me if a stun is telegraphed, short, and counterable, then I don't mind it. Then you're gonna hate Deadlock. Oh boy.
Telegraph, short, and counterable. Sounds very much unlike Overwatch.
Also, I love the 2,350 health. Why? Can you remove a 0? Does it have to be that big?
Nah.
Scale
Big
your values,
better.
please.
Big number better. Big number better.
Scale your fucking values. That's something else Deadlock does. You have like crazy health pools. Why? Reduce all of them by an order of magnitude to clear off some clutter, please.
Where is the 2,300 coming from? Where do you see that?
It was the health bar.
It was the health
that
bar.
are added.
Oh,
and here,
okay.
Yeah, see.
Like, look at that shit. Why?
Oh yeah, Jesus.
And it's
Just make that
represented
like
by 10
235. Just lower that down. Just lower that down. Come on.
shooters are
I
notorious
love
for their
crazy high
endless
time to kill. So fun.
cycles of nerfs, buffs, reworks, and other balance changes. This is an unavoidable part of all multiplayer games that continue to
there
receive
you go.
updates, but it's exacerbated by the hero shooter formula.
Let it be acknowledged. Our statement.
Dude,
Yeah.
I predicted what I predicted it.
Let
Boom,
it be
got
acknowledged. We are not saying that he did not say that.
He said it.
The criticism has gotten levied at us by multiple people that we don't let people finish their point and then they make the point that we made, and that's okay. It just means we all.
I got
agree.
2 words for you.
Boo-hoo.
That happens all the time. That's not like unique.
Yeah.
It's not unique to this fucking podcast.
It's almost like
It's called dramatic irony, you dummies. Just go
you-
get a degree in
I
literature.
don't know
Come
if
back to me. Go read Macbeth.
I've never
right
I've
now.
never had someone's words get put in my mouth or vice versa before. I'm perfect.
I just like I feel like if he were in the call, the equivalent would be like if we were like, yeah, we think this, and he was like, oh, I agree with that. That's what I was gonna say, and we're like, oh, okay, cool. And then like some random commenter is just like, I can't believe that they would do that. They said what he was gonna say. What the fuck? I was robbed of
means we
getting to
agree.
hear him say it. This is so sad.
Abilities, etc. that are added, and hero shooters are notorious for their endless cycles of nerfs, buffs, reworks, and other balance changes. This is an unavoidable part of all multiplayer games that continue to receive
said it.
updates, but it's exacerbated by the hero shooter formula. Speaking of updates, the second problem that plagues most hero
You should
shooters
probably explain why. He didn't
I think
really.
he's gonna do it right now.
No, he's
he's
like
moving on.
why waves of balance changes are a problem.
No, yeah, why? Yeah, why is it? No, I was saying why is it exacerbated by the hero shooter formula?
Also that.
That's why I was curious, because he just kind of says it and then he moves on. That would probably be a good thing to elaborate on, because I'm not even sure why.
Well, I think the reason why is because you have that many more mechanics all interacting with each other, and you have to design one mechanic based on the presence of all others in mind, and so it becomes a much more complicated network of balancing.
Yeah, it's more.
And so because if you balance one thing, it's going to have a ripple effect and affect everything else around it. So the more shit you add, the more complicated it gets, and the harder it becomes to balance it with everything else in mind, and it just turns into a huge fucking mess.
Yeah, that's why games like Deep Rock Galactic thrive off of having like 4 characters, because they can do so much with those 4 characters and how interconnected they are that they don't really need to add like a 5th class or whatever.
Yep.
Same goes for TF2.
Speaking of updates, the second problem that plagues most hero shooters is the cycle of updates with adding new heroes, as players come to expect new content. And with so much new content being added, you're sure to run into the third problem.
Gross.
They just
that was
disgusting.
A lot. Well, I think he also should have said that feeds back into the balancing problem, because that just adds more mechanics that have to be accounted for.
Because you don't have to. This isn't like a problem. This doesn't have to be a problem with the hero shooter genre. We can alleviate this one. Just add the amount of characters in your game at the start, and don't add any more. You can add new weapons or new abilities to those characters to make them more dynamic. Find your fundamental. This is how the characters all interact and coexist with each other, and don't change it. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Please, more. I want more games to do that.
No, sorry. You need Toy Store. You need a Toy Store game. Look, I want to play as Sova and the other guy named Ovas and
hold on.
Savo and
go back. We can play Deadlock in Valorant.
I do not like the we add characters as we go mentality, because I think it leads to a very bad game by the end of it.
Yeah, and that's exactly what's going to happen with Deadlock.
The third problem, along with worsening the first problem, which is being unable to keep up with the character building. Realistically, you cannot fully flesh out more than a baker's dozen of characters before their quality degrades. This isn't a problem for the gameplay, and contrary to popular belief, is not gatekeeping new players by intimidating them.
Does Overwatch have that many? What the fuck?
That's not
when did they get that many characters?
Yeah.
That's not even. Oh wait. When how we recently?
Also, once again, I feel like this is a very. Sorry, once again, I feel like this is a very important distinction between class-based and hero-based, but once again, he said that they're the same, so I don't what do I know?
Why are there so fucking many in the game now?
Yeah, there's a lot.
He said they're the same, even though it's clearly not a problem of select games that don't have this issue, because he's a class-based formula, not a hero-based one, but what do I know? He said they're the same.
And contrary to popular belief, is not gatekeeping new players by intimidating them with a steep learning curve. MOBA games have hundreds of characters with no problem. Coming up with
whoa.
Excuse me? You're just gonna go over that?
Whoa, I don't. I wish we had someone in the call who had played MOBAs actively, so I could be confident. Alan,
yeah, that would be crazy.
Alan, what do you think?
MOBAs clearly have a steep learning curve if you want to be good.
I was more referring to the. Do you think that MOBAs having hundreds of characters is a problem?
A problem?
Like in the way that it's implemented.
Yes and no, I think personally.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, a meta develops, right? So there's some characters you just don't see that often, but it's not like inherently a problem to have lots of characters, I don't think.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying, like, is there any problem with the way it's implemented at all?
Well,
if I may, Alan, take over.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Yeah, well, the main issue, and this kind of also extends back to Overwatch. But with MOBAs, it's a bit more problematic because the base gameplay of said character can be radically different, right? The goal is always the same. In Overwatch, shoot character. In League or Dota, it's destroy the Ancient or like the Citadel, right? End goal is always the same. Overwatch, though, the basic controls are always the same. League of Legends, Dota, the basic controls moving around the map, etc., are all the same. What's drastically different, though, is the abilities, all right? And sometimes in League of Legends, the abilities of a character can be a lot more than the standard free you get in Overwatch, right? You can get up to 5. What's that one Dota 2 character again? Artificer, who has like 12 different abilities, I believe. Most complex character to learn. And obviously the more you add with time, the harder it is to understand and get a general feeling for the game as time goes on. You add more, hard to get into, hard to understand what's happening, harder to learn what's going on. It's the reason why MOBAs have such like a steep learning curve, and why they're like often so gated behind like user experience. If you want to get into a MOBA now, you're not gonna have like a fun time. You're gonna have to like stick with it and like do like a shit ton of research on ironically
you have to
like
learn a lot.
You gotta learn builds, you gotta learn what characters do, you gotta learn like if this guy builds X, I gotta build Y in response to X, but then I also gotta know if he knows I'm building Y, I gotta be a step ahead and build Z. And that problem is like a stagnant thing with the MOBA genre. Some people like it, some people don't like it, right? If you can stick through, it's very much a trial by fire for the genre. If you get through it, then you'll probably enjoy it. But a lot of people, I think, cannot stick with it.
Yeah, I took issue with I don't play MOBAs, which is why I'm like hesitating to say this. But I take issue with the idea that adding a metric fuck ton of characters even doesn't hinder new players from learning the game at all. Because yes, it does. Especially if you want to be any level of competent at a high level, you have to learn what each character does and how to counter it.
Or not even at a high level, but a basic level. And I'm the TF2 guy, so I'm gonna go back to TF2 as an example. First starting out with TF2 is fucking awful. Aside from like the game giving you no information as to how anything fucking works or how to play the game at a basic level, you pick a class. But then you have to familiarize yourself with how all of the classes function, with all of the weapons do, and how they have an effect on you and your team in order to be even remotely competent and in order to be even remotely competent and to contribute towards play, right? Mm-hmm. And like that initial, what's the word I'm looking for? Like that initial buffer of like having to stomach the initial like 20 hours or 30 hours, and for like MOBAs, it's much greater than that because there's so much more. Most people are not going to be willing to stomach that initial playtime of getting their shit pushed in to familiarize themselves with everything to then be competent enough to continue playing. Yeah. Like unless they have like a friend ushering them in, it's going to be really hard.
Like with Overwatch, what's Overwatch's roster at? 33 characters, I think. Overwatch 2.
I don't know the number.
How many heroes? 41. Damn, I was close. Oh, God. So there's 41 heroes that you have to learn how they interact with you and like each other. All right, 41 different interactions you'll have to learn. Now we're still going to use Overwatch 2 as an example. Now imagine if those 41 heroes could also buy items on top of each other that would drastically change how they would play. Now you have a near infinite amount of like learning to do. Right, on how each character plays and goes. Yeah, and I know people are going to say there's a meta, that like there's obviously fan favorites as well. The issue is though, all it takes is for one guy to have a one-trick pony to kind of ruin all expectation about that. You know what I mean?
And that's not even a fair counter because you're just admitting that there's a large portion of the game that just isn't good or isn't well balanced, and therefore we just ignore it and everything's fine. It's like no.
That's also just like the top 1%er if you're going into a much more competitive aspect of the game. If you want to play the game casually and have fun with it, this is like what you need to do. You got to learn how all 41-2 characters play and interact with each other. And in the case of the MOBA, like we're going back, you also have to have a basic idea of how those items also impact the characters and what works with what, right? And like I said, some people like it, some people don't. I don't know. It's too much for me to enjoy casually.
Yeah. Hooray.
Steep learning curve, MOBA games have hundreds of characters with no problem. Coming up with new and exciting ideas for heroes is difficult, and there is a problem in the hero shooter genre with recycling and copying hero abilities from different games and even within the same games. I plan on making an engineer or at least like a multiplayer sentry gun video, but you could probably double the number of heroes in any hero shooter with a few blatant repeats. The real reason this is a problem is because if you remember, one of the main upsides to hero shooters was the impact on culture from fleshed out individual personalities, but that possibility becomes null when you can't even flesh them out. Lastly, and most importantly, because if you remember, one of the main upsides to hero shooters was the impact on culture from fleshed out individual personalities, but that
there are a lot of ways to develop characters in a hero shooter: short films, short single-player missions for each hero, short stories, episodic series, etc. These would be nice.
Oh, so like all the no offense, but all the wrong ways to develop characters. What I got from this.
Yeah,
If you can't
external
develop a
stuff.
character in your own work, I don't feel like
short single
doing
player
something
missions is fine.
external is
Short
bad.
single player missions is fine.
Well, that's defining the character within the game
Yeah.
itself and not relying on external content, right?
Yeah.
Because, like, for example, TF2, you can pick up on a lot of the characters' personalities simply by how they interact with the world around them and how they interact with other characters, right?
I also feel like that's like a very bad asterisk to make too, though, because that's like so far out of the normal game circle to like take time and develop it as well.
Like,
you know what I mean?
Do you think TF2's characters would be successful if the meet the shorts didn't exist?
I would think they'd be
not-
less successful.
Yeah, I obviously think they'd be less successful, but I still think they would work within the game and do well, right?
Yes.
Medic didn't have his fucking meet this thing until 2011, and he was still a well like thought out and well personalized character in class.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was just curious because that would that would qualify for the stuff he's talking about. I think that it can be better, but it shouldn't be your primary focus. I think there are better ways to,
I think Bastion is a very good example. Do you think Bastion would be the same character if you didn't have any background stories or like shorts, like videos, like the one he's literally showing now?
Well, yeah, because if you don't know what Bastion is outside of the Overwatch itself, then Overwatch doesn't really give you much. Like the game itself doesn't really give you much to work with for what Bastion is.
There's also an issue of retconning is screwed over. We're talking about Overwatch 2, buddy. Like that's not an issue. That's like a priority for them.
Yeah. They're not really good at the whole lore thing, I don't think. I wouldn't say that. It like lore exists and that's really cool, but like it's not very well founded, I don't think.
Personalities, but that possibility becomes null when you can't even flesh them out. Lastly, and most importantly, hero shooters are getting stale, and people don't want to learn the names of—
Wait, hold on, I want to go back real quick.
I mean, he's not wrong about the stale factor.
Wait, before we get there, I'm sorry, I want to hear his whole thing out.
From fleshed out individual personalities, but that possibility becomes null when you can't even flesh them out. Lastly, and most importantly, hero shooters are getting stale, and people don't want to learn the names of 24 more random assholes. People are fatigued with the premise. Look at how people reacted to the news of Deadlock.
Hold on.
So Concord is just an example of me making a very bad game. Like, it being a hero shooter was definitely like a major factor in its failure, but they could have still at least made it infinitely more appealing if the gameplay didn't suck, the character designs didn't suck, other factors, right? Like, you could still make a new hero shooter today and have it be successful, clearly.
Yeah, no, I think the reaction to Deadlock was a combination of like a few things. It wasn't just the fact that it was a hero shooter, but it being a hero shooter definitely did not help. Because I saw several people just saying like, oh, it's a tried and true, or not tried and true. It's an overdone thing. They're late to the party. All that sort of.
Well, it's not just a hero shooter. It's a hero shooter MOBA. The two genres of game that Valve already fucking kind of made and popularized, and it's just repeating over past trends instead of doing something groundbreaking like Valve is kind of known for doing.
Yeah.
Never mind the game itself, which, though it is in early development, is a—
Wait, fuck. I hate the fucking text. Stop
the game
that.
itself, which—
If you're gonna listen, this is something I've learned. If you're gonna flash text on screen like that, keep it on the screen long enough for people to have enough time to at least pause to read what you're putting on there. If you put it on there for a fucking frame, I used to do this. Pisses people off. It like takes people out of watching your video. Stop it.
Yeah.
I still look like shit even 4 months later.
Yeah. It looks the same to me, but maybe I'm just not tapped in.
They changed the top, because at the top it used to be kind of like TF2's blocky. Now it's circles, so that's changed.
Hey, we got circles.
I still predict that this game is not going to change much beyond what we see now. We're going to see a lot of visual adjustments, but the gameplay is done. Clearly.
Yeah, the gameplay is done.
The gameplay is done. Like, this is it. Like, we're going to get more characters. Obviously, they're going to continue tweaking balance, but generally, this is what Deadlock is going to be.
Yeah. I doubt it's going to change much as well.
Yeah.
It is an
It'll
early
be very
development.
curious to see how successful it is once it's, like, fully released.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to watch for sure.
Actually, I'm curious right now. Let me go to SteamDB real quick. Steam.
1,200K.
I want to see what the general trend is. Stats. Give me all time. Fairly stable from the first couple of weeks of play. Slight downward trend. We'll see what happens in the long run.
Well,
Curious to see.
Once it gets released, it's gonna, spike.
Oh,
back up.
it'll skyrocket again. But I'm curious to see what the stability of the player base is going to be.
Yeah, how many people are gonna quit on it and stuff like that.
I said after a year release, will probably sit around 50K. I don't know. Well, I guess it's already got a comp scene going on, so it's probably got that carrying for it.
That blows my mind. There's already a $10,000 prize pool
I
competitive game with Deadlock. Are you fucking kidding me? How?
Because Valve's behind it.
That was in the works like before you could even talk about it publicly. So I don't know how the fuck they did that.
And Valve is going to sponsor esports tournaments based around this game too.
Yeah.
They're just going to follow the same formula they've been following since 2010.
The game itself, which, though it is in early development, is a MOBA first and hero shooter second. People are just tired of the hero shooter. So 8 years into the hero shooter phase of multiplayer games, and it looks like there's no sign of stopping. Wow, that's very interesting, Patrick. Say, you were talking a lot about TF2. There must have been dozens of updates since 2014, right? Oh, yeah. Well, I'll check it out myself. Thanks for the update on the gaming land.
That was kind of random.
That was also a bad thing. You should have said 2017, not 2014, by the way.
Yeah, it's in the
several
screenshot you showed.
Yeah.
I'll check it out myself. Thanks for the update on the gaming landscape. Later.
That was interesting.
Damn, no 30-second slur rant. Damn.
I don't know if
I feel
this is
cheated.
real.
I wanted that.
That is serious. That's not me
feel
joking.
cheated.
That is serious. That is serious.
I refuse to believe that would just happen on YouTube.com. You really think someone would do that on the internet?
Yes.
All right.
We're in Call of Zesty right now, so.
Yeah. I my Rolodex. Give me a letter.
X.
Damn, that's a hard one.
We're at this part of the video where we say the slurs for 30 seconds, aren't we? Like.
Well, that was a good video overall. I think it had,
generally it had some weak
iffy
points.
Yeah, it had some iffy things that I think are a bit questionable. But overall, that was one of the better videos we watched on UFR.
Yeah, pretty good.
Nice.
His outro uses a banger. It's the song from Lethal League.
Okay.
I need to try Lethal League. I've not played Lethal League.
I've not played Lethal League.
It's pretty fun. I'm not very good, but it's pretty fun.
How are we feeling? Tier list? No tier list? What are we doing?
I'm ready for it. I got time.
Lethal League. I don't know. Oh, the beep 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 beep. Yeah.
Hold on. Let me grab a tier list real quick.
Okay, no, hold on. I'm gonna call it out, chat. You prefer the look of Neon Prime? Okay, Deadlock's already got a shit ton of fucking things going on, and now you want those things to be neon colored? Are you fucking insane? Are you crazy? What's wrong with you? You want to give yourself a seizure? Some people, man. Some people.
Deadlock looks just really muted. Like the colors, nothing.
That was one of my.
It doesn't look very nice, but
that the world was like gray and bland, and then like when I played it, I kind of appreciated that because it made the characters pop out more, like against the background. So I'm not complaining.
Almost like they learned that lesson from TF2.
Yeah, well, it worked.
I am struggling. Hold on.
He's struggling.
I'm struggling.
How do I send something at a certain time? How do I send something like a YouTube video at a certain time? How do I do that?
So right click on the video and then copy URL at current time.
Wow, the future is now.
Future is now, old man.
Nice.
Wait, I'm fucking older than you. Fuck.
The future is no.
Damn it! Shit! When did Neon Prime start? It was like 2022, 23 when they were developing it. Around 22. I think 2022 is when they like actually started like full Steam development on Deadlock, on Neon Prime. Deadlock. I mean Citadel.
All right. It's gaming time. Oh my gosh.
All right, where are we starting?
Okay, are we ranking the men?
Yes, of course.
Okay, just
and the women
sure.
and children.
Well,
Yes,
no,
of
not the
course.
children. There are no children in Overwatch. Thank God. That'd be horrifying.
I mean, Diva's right fucking there. She's like 16, ain't she?
No, all the characters are over
That's
18.
fucked up. That's fucked up. They knew what they were doing with that too. That's fucked up.
You fucked me up now because now we have to start on the other end of the list because you did that. How dare you? Where we putting Zenyatta? You guys?
Yeah, he's-
Zenyatta S tier.
No, like
S tier.
No, we're talking about like sex appeal. No.
S
D.
tier.
D.
S tier.
D.
S tier.
No.
Who the fuck cares about
there are
sex,
sexier
bro?
robots in this
Who
game.
cares?
and this
I
guy's
name
not
the
one.
sexiest fucking thing. The
I
sexiest
don't know the
thing
names.
possible is walking up and then
Doesn't
being
have
given
the
some
names.
monk wisdom and then having an enlightened life and outlook. All right, that's S tier. That's the sexiest thing by far.
Richter over
No, sorry. I say D.
I'm making a new tier for like unsexable,
Unsexable.
and I'm putting the I'm going out of our way. We're putting the hamster in.
Yeah, put
unsexable.
the hamster down
The
there.
ham-
We don't
Wait,
wanna
why
talk about
why
that.
is he going there?
And
That is an animal, sir.
we're also putting Winston in that tier as well.
Yeah, he
No!
is also an animal.
We're
Please do
putting-
not put him.
We're putting
This
the
is no.
two animals in
Winston-
unsexable tier. Don't tell me
This
he's
is an
intelligent.
injustice.
No,
This is an injustice.
No.
Oh my god.
humans
Winston
and
is-
robots only.
Okay.
If I could add chat, I would put chat in unsexable. Thank you, person. I will put Zen in C. We'll average
Okay.
it out.
Oh, that's fine.
Moira.
Who?
Moira.
She's fucking French.
Oh,
Put her in F
that
tier.
one ugly. Like the
Put her
worst
in
tier.
F tier.
Ugly. D.
Yeah.
Bottom. Blech.
French.
Mercy.
Also a woman.
S.
Mercy
S.
F tier.
S.
She's
Mercy,
a woman.
S.
F tier. Woman F tier.
S.
S
We're,
for Swiss.
we were vetoing Space Guy. Lucio.
Boo.
Lucio's
Lucio.
pretty. He's pretty sexy. I'd say A.
I put A. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say A.
F tier. Called my music bad. F tier.
Like.
F tier. I can never fucking hit him when he's wall riding. F tier.
Shut the fuck up. Lifeweaver goes in D.
F.
Yeah,
Okay.
D.
Unironic. Yeah. Unironic F tier. That was easy.
Lifeweaver's one of the ugliest character designs I've ever seen. Genuinely.
I hate that they tried to make him a sexy fucking character too.
He's
Like, it doesn't
constantly
work.
Chad facing. It makes me feel strange.
Chat frozen.
Chat frozen. Fuck. With the Kiriko.
F tier. I fucking can't stand Kiriko.
That's
F
a hard
tier.
one.
Personality
say-
F tier looks like A tier, so I don't know how that balances out.
B.
What are we
the
ranking
soul-
these on?
S-
F tier.
sex ability.
How much I like the characters in this F
Mercy
tier.
is
for
Mercy is
Kiriko.
just so much better. So I got to put her in B.
Yeah.
I'll go with B. B's fine. Juno.
Imagine the conversation
mind,
though.
sorry.
You'd be ruined. The conversation with Kiriko would be like, "Hey, I think you're really cute," and then she'd just be like, "Shut the fuck up, kill yourself. I never want to speak to you again." The worst thing she can say is no. F tier.
Oh shit.
The worst thing she could say is no. Juno. Newest character.
That's the
know.
astronaut girl with like cotton candy hair.
Yeah.
Low A.
She got them Zazier pronouns because she got purple hair. F tier.
Space Guy, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, you should be all over this. This is the space girl.
No, this is
No,
Space
I'm
Girl.
not.
What the fuck?
Space guy, not space gal, idiot. The doy.
Yeah, but you need a space gal.
It's not how it works. It's Earth gal offline, space guy online.
I gotta open up a Google tab for like half of these. I don't know any
How
of
are
these
you gonna
characters-
find an
fucking
Earth
characters.
gal offline with given your like job and profession?
What the? Pretty easy, actually.
Ilari.
Okay, unironic F tier.
No
It's the
personality,
same reason
I don't
for
know.
Kiriko, but like kind of like the blame.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, baby,
lower,
I
bottom,
think you're-
bottom.
Hey baby, I think you're pretty cute, and just like I can't even make a
Put
response
that
'cause there would
character
I don't,
way at the bottom.
What are her
there is
voice
no
No,
response.
she's above fucking Moira.
lines?
Yeah,
I
above
don't-
Moira, but not out of D tier.
I don't care
No.
about in tier.
I like bottom of C.
I don't care about ranking in
Hold on.
tiers.
I need to know some of these voice lines real quick. Give me 1 second. I'm curious.
Why?
It's literally like, imagine if Batman was a 19-year-old teenage girl.
Shut the fuck up. That can't be.
I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. It literally is. There's one thing where like they're laughing. Like Lucio's like, "What's your favorite music? I want to ask everybody," and she's like, "I like the sound that our village people used to make before the incident." Like, shut up! Like, be quiet. What a fucking Debbie Downer. Who fucking cares? Answer the question. Just say reggae or some shit. Like, I don't care. Ugh.
Hold on, where's
I'm completely
they have a
serious.
They have a play button, but they don't have like the whatever. It's fine.
Do you want me to
Google
fucking
any Overwatch character,
it's fine. Look.
No mistakes, no mercy. If you're gonna die, do it when I'm not looking. I'm reading these, by the way. Don't slow me down. I won't fail. I'm reading these.
Bad blood always spills. Forgiveness, never heard of it. Oh no, never mind. She's actually a D tier.
You think I was fucking kidding?
Forgiveness, I've never heard of it, is actually one of the worst things I've ever had to read. Thank you, Alan. You lose. I'm sorry. Brigitte, S tier. S tier below Mercy.
F tier, sexier dad. F tier.
That's not relevant.
That's the facts. Them's the facts. Can't put him at S tier. Them's the facts.
Space Guy doesn't like engineers.
There's something about her fucking forehead.
Yeah,
that's the widow's
does it for you.
Okay, fine. I'll move her down to A. I've been negotiating
no.
down to A. Alan, you didn't fight with me when I said S. Okay, you gotta be in agreement. Okay.
I think no more than A.
A is fine. Yeah.
Baptiste.
Backwards. Unironic C tier. It's the mohawk. I can't stand the mohawk.
Yeah, it's the mohawk. If he was like bald, easy B.
No,
but the mohawk
okay,
is...
no. We have to put him in B because he has to be above Kiriko because he's at least a nice person.
Okay.
Move Kiriko down to C.
No, we're not. We can't move Kiriko down to C.
Simple solution.
just visually, Kiriko cannot be below B.
That's true. That's true. Anna.
Hags D.
Damn.
S tier.
What?
Damn.
S tier. Bottom up there was Zenyatta in S tier.
No, D.
No,
yeah,
C at least.
I'm sorry. What's more sexy than one eye, hood, and a sniper rifle? Huh? S tier.
Preferably below the age of 60.
Prominent hair,
Space Guy, you into
old, one eye, sniper. S tier. That's all I'm hearing.
You into tranquilizer, Space Guy?
I was more making reference to how I'm just describing myself, and that's why it's in S tier. But
that's better. I'll put her in.
Yeah,
C.
her young version. I mean, that bumps her up a couple of tiers easily. But we're not talking about that.
C tier it is. Widowmaker.
French F tier.
S.
F tier.
A or S. But, okay, no, actually no. S, but below Mercy.
I would
French and purple skin, F tier, and she's fucking.
French is pretty. French takes at least one.
I hate that. Don't put... Someone just said 0 French.
Real. About that beer I owed you, Barney. Let's fucking get it.
I'm not. We're not doing racial prejudice. I'll put her in S.
It's not racism. It's nationality based.
I would say that she defines bottom of S tier.
Why did you say it like that? Venture.
Who is Venture?
Look them up.
Venture.
Space Guy went silent. I'm interested to hear why.
Is this a dude or a chick?
That's
silent. That's why I went silent. No comment.
Zesty, the character's non-binary.
Okay.
F
tier. I don't care.
I like the rat aesthetic. Definitely looks like a mole person.
That's just more F tier. You're just solidifying it now.
I think
I like the rat aesthetic.
I think Venture
deserves...
I like how
they
look no wait, no, I'll make an actual argument. I'll make an actual argument. Venture has a better personality than all of the people in D tier.
See, I look at the concept art, I'm like, man, this is a cool character, and then I look at them in game, and I'm like, fuck, they're ugly.
Yeah, the concept art is better. Also,
concept art is like so much better than what happened to this character in game.
I think they should be at least C tier. That's my thought.
That's
I'm down
fine.
for C.
Okay.
Although I hate how you
C.
justified the placement by, yeah, I like the erratic sec. I like working in the coal mines 24/7, digging around the dirt.
It's
in
better
tunnels.
than like Chad face,
That's doing it
ugly,
for me.
and then Ilari. What? There are drums outside. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Is it you got like a marching
I hear
band? Hell
the
yeah.
drum- That's the police knock on the door talking about the miners.
Saints come marching in.
Probably some form of
It's the
Festival.
police, 'cause we were talking
Now we're
about
in-
Venture, who
We're
is
about
a
to move
miner.
into like the most controversial of placements. Where does Tracer go?
F tier, she's a lesbian, and we're all men. Easy.
Nah, I would say. Oh man,
that's
that's tough.
up, right under Mercy.
At first I thought it was like banging from next door or something.
I thought it was gonna be the last UFR we ever done had. There's a Japanese parade happening outside my house, as I'm sure you can
Hell
hear.
yeah.
They do that in Japan.
What, they have parades? Yeah, believe it or not.
It's like a whole other world over. That's fucking. Did you know that? It's like, that's fucking crazy.
Parade Japan.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. No, I think Ventura just has a better personality than everyone in D, so Ventura gets bumped up at least one tier. Tracer?
F tier.
Under Mercy.
S between
British!
Mercy and Widowmaker.
She's fucking British, dude.
So I can put up with the accent.
Thick British accent too. Also annoying. I'm gonna say A tier actually because of annoying.
Actually, yeah, I have to agree. A tier because she's kind of
A
annoying.
tier for annoying.
Yeah,
Cheers,
I agree.
love.
Put her in A.
The cavalry's
Above
here.
Juno.
Okay.
A above Juno.
Torbjorn, S tier.
S tier.
Top of S.
tier,
Torbjorn is like just hands down the
S
sexiest
tier.
character in the game. Top S tier.
Simple.
Interesting.
What do you mean interesting, Alan? What does that mean?
Agreements all
No,
around.
I didn't realize.
You didn't realize?
Rock and stone, baby.
Rocket
Stone,
Stone, baby.
Alan, you're not telling me. Alan, be honest. You'd fuck all 4 Deep Rock Galactic dwarves before any of the Overwatch cast.
I just don't feel like, if we're being real, I don't think that's the case.
I think if we're being real, that's probably the case.
Let's go.
Like when Torbjorn's like, "My life's work." That shit's like that hits you, you know. He's emotional.
Maybe if I was gay, yeah.
This is the peak.
Maybe if I
This is-
swung that way.
He makes you gay. That's the problem.
I-
One
All
luck.
right.
He makes you. This is why we need the TF Tuber dating app.
It's like the Greek
This is why
Aphrodite.
we need the TF2 dating app. Why?
Because
I feel
we
like
need
it's just
to
gonna
stop-
make shit worse.
We need to stop getting Overwatch characters to make us gay. We need to fight back.
C tier Symmetra, just because of the
Symmetra.
No,
annoying
I can't put her in
personality,
C
annoying
tier.
look.
Come on. At least
I
a
feel-
B.
It's another personality thing. It's a bland personality, but it's also like, hey, didn't your father genocide like an entire village of people? And she's like, oh, oops,
Oops.
Listen, we're not talking about the sins. No, listen, you can't have sins of the father here. All right, you can't.
No,
have
but
that.
there's also like, maybe don't just like
Just be like,
shove
well,
the sins
whatever.
of the father underneath the carpet. Maybe be like, yeah, that was a travesty. Maybe don't like relish enjoy that like that happened. You know what I mean? Also, maybe don't continue to like propagate and support those ideals as well in the future.
I'm all right. Fine.
I'll
I'll
say
let
A.
you take the reins on this one.
F tier.
No.
He
War
said I
crimes,
take.
F
He
tier.
said I take the reins.
Fine.
Yeah, war crimes.
Why-
War
I'll give him-
crimes.
Wait a second.
I'll
Actually,
give
why
him
am I just
Sombra.
deferring to Zesty? Fuck you. At least C.
That's what I said originally. I said bottom
Okay,
of C tier.
Fine. I will take C. We'll take C. Sombra.
F. Ugly. Don't like. Hate the fucking shaved side of the head haircut. Fuck you. Hate it. Bottom.
Latina though.
Shut up. I hate this. Why did I agree to do this? This was my idea. I hate it.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Alan.
She's a gamer girl, but she's not an annoying gamer girl.
No,
like
she's
Diva.
very annoying.
Not to Diva though. Diva's like the fucking. I'm saying F tier for Diva. I couldn't.
I
Fucking
would remove
stand
Diva from the game.
that, actually.
I think Sombra's more
I would be
annoying than
happier.
Diva.
I would remove Sombra too. Don't get me wrong.
I don't speak Spanish, so Sombra doesn't get on my nerve as much as like So like, yeah.
Fine. I'll put Sombre. I'll go ahead and put Diva in there as well. Fuck.
Yeah, bottom. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. No gamer women. Ugly,
Yep.
bad. Tui.
Lynn, I am not putting. If we put Zenyatta in C tier, we have to also put Bastion in a tier that is not unsexable. Okay.
Why can
Gaming is
Bastion
for the-
consent?
Gaming is for the guys.
Isn't the
not
whole
the gals.
plot of Overwatch that they're supposed to have rights? Are you taking away the
But
robot's
Bastion's
rights?
like one of the old robots that doesn't fucking.
Doesn't Bastion does? Oh my
Fuck.
God, you're making me look it up. You're making me look up if Bastion has the right.
All I'm saying,
Oh, God, here
saying
we
is I
go.
feel like Winston could consent more than Bastion
Shut
could.
the fuck up!
Stop! No!
Shut up!
Go back!
Shut
Go
up!
back! Go
Shut
back!
up, dude!
They know I'm right. They hated the truth.
Go back! Go back! You set him off, dude. You set him off.
No, don't say. We're putting them on. Never mind. I actually am not looking it up. We're just putting them all in unsexable. I've been
crucified.
You set him
I've
off.
been negotiated. We're putting all the robots in unsexable. Fuck.
Thank you.
You fucking did, Alan.
We do
Put a
a
Risa
bit
in
of
there
trolling.
too.
Look what
You have to
fucking
put a
did.
Risa
I'm
in
getting
there
there.
for
I'm
two
getting there.
reasons.
I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Arisa is a robot and B a minor, so definitely put her in there. alright?
I didn't
Who's
want.
Orisa?
I
the
don't. I
robot?
genuinely don't
Orisa.
know. Ramatra goes in there as well.
Whoa, those are some very interesting autofill recommendations.
Yeah,
I have to see what this is.
she's a minor. I just said that.
Yeah, don't
Now
be
with an
very careful
ER
when
and
scrolling
OR.
through. Hurry, or oh wow, this is oh my god. Okay, yep, I'm closing that.
What are you
Whoa,
looking at,
people get
Zesty?
creative.
Fucking, they're getting creative.
Soldier. S.
S.
He's
tier.
like baseline male. I would say like C or D or C or B.
What?
What?
Listen, if I'm having a barbecue, he's probably very good at grilling.
Fuck you mean he's
so-
baseline? He's a veteran. He's a
Okay, he's a
grizzled. He's a
veteran.
grizzled
That's
veteran.
pretty base. That's pretty baseline for Overwatch.
Okay, fine. I'll put him in A.
He has to be at least A. Yeah.
All right, A tier is fine.
Is he called Soldier 76 because he's 76 years old? Is that why he's called Soldier
No, it's because
76?
he's a 76th soldier because he's even older than that.
I like my answer better.
Okay. Sojourn.
F tier.
Mediocre.
She's got Robo Cybernetics.
Better than what's his face with the mohawk? Or no, sorry,
How
worse
much of
than what's his
her
face
is
with the mohawk.
real? How much of her is a person though? It's all robot parts
Below
and
tier we go.
cybernetics.
C tier.
She's Quebec call. Oh, mega F tier, dude. That's worse than Moira.
Shut the fuck up.
Mega F tier.
No, we're not
Mega.
doing
This
it.
isn't even joking.
We're not doing it based
All the
off the
Canadians know.
nationality. That's fucked.
Fuck the Quebeco.
No.
Fuck the Quebeco. Fucking francophones.
Reaper.
Racist platform.
Reaper is
Edgy, go away.
Reaper is D tier and the bottom of D. Reaper actually goes in unsexable.
Yeah, I don't
Spanish,
like
yo.
it.
Reaper's the only human character to make it there. Reaper deserves it.
And he dead?
No.
And he a corpse?
Is
But he goes, die, 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 and I become Shadow. Ooh.
Isn't he
Yeah,
rotting
he's
alive?
dead.
That's
he's
also
rotting. Yeah, he's dead.
That's not even my.
I mean,
that
we're all
wasn't
rotting
even.
alive.
Shut the fuck up. That isn't even my rationale. He's just like the most unattractive kind of person. He's also hilarious. If he were self-aware, he would be S tier. He'd be an S for self-aware, but because he's not self-aware, he just says that shit genuinely. It's like disgusting. I hate it.
Do not ask Reaper for his opinion on African Americans.
I love when Reaper does his little like I turn invisible now move, and he's like death comes. That's my favorite voice line in the whole game.
He ain't though, because he's at the bottom of the list.
Yeah. No.
I don't like Reaper.
The Farah.
S?
Below
Mercy.
Below
Yep.
Ana, D tier.
No.
No.
S
Yeah.
between Mercy and Widowmaker.
May S tier.
S also
Fucking-
between Mercy and Para.
She goes like Shasha Pao, Bing Shilling, S tier.
There we go. S. Perfect.
Space
She
Guy's
belongs
just
there.
racist. Have we talked about this? Space Guy's just made racist jokes every single
Now
time.
catching on to that.
What's
Bing
happening?
cheating is not a racist joke. That's just ice cream. That's a John Cena joke.
Yeah.
John Cena joke.
All right. Junkrat.
Mediocre.
I like when he's like when Baptiste is like, aren't you and aren't you and Roadhog a couple? And he's like, a couple of dashing rogues. I
like Junkrat more like Baptiste does. So like.
Yeah, he's top of B probably.
Yeah, he's definitely B tier.
Actually, he might be above Soldier.
No, he's insane. He can't be above Soldier.
Okay.
Alan, don't do it. Okay, I'm saving you. Hanzo.
B.
I think B.
Or like low A. B or low A.
I think B.
I think better than Soldier again.
I think we're just gonna end up bumping Soldier down to B.
Yeah, let's put Soldier in B. It was too high of a rating.
Oh no. Okay.
Top
of B tier. Top of B tier for Soldier.
Or below Junk, and then move Junk to A. There you go. Bottom of A for Junk.
Doomfist.
He goes.
A tier.
And they say.
Yeah, I'm willing to say A tier. He gives me gotchi vibes. I gotta put him in. I gotta put him in A.
He goes above Tracer because he's not annoying.
I agree.
And he's got a big fucking hand.
Yeah. You think about that hand caressing you tenderly.
That would
that
be bad.
hand would like flatten a small sedan.
Yeah, that wouldn't caress you. That would tenderize you like a fucking steak.
No, it wouldn't. He could never. You guys don't understand. You don't understand the privilege of having a big man to put his hand on you.
Privilege.
Junker Queen.
Yeah.
D.
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 Australian.
Bottom of B.
Unsexable.
I'll put her in C above Sojourn, Symmetra. That's good. Genji.
Unsexable.
Everyone in
he's a
chat
robot,
said S for
technically.
the. Everyone in chat spammed S when I said Junker Queen. That's awful. I hate that.
Not a good choice. Sorry, bad.
Genji is just worse Hanzo. So what are we doing with that?
I thought he was
Bottom
a
of B.
Cyborg. I thought he was just like completely metal. What are you gonna do with
Is he
that?
completely metal? Is that
I thought he
real?
was like
You guys
just a
can't.
brain
we
in a
can't.
jar, more or less.
Can't
He's
do
a
this.
cyborg.
Hold on.
If we put Sojourn in C, he's got to be below Sojourn.
Genji. Overwatch. The Overwatch. I would like everyone to know, if you look up Genji on Google, Overwatch comes up before the tale of Genji. That's kind of sad.
Gee, I wonder why.
Well, obviously one is more relevant to the internet than the other, but I just think it's just a little sad, you know. Where is now a living weapon? Genji,
Yeah,
Cybernation.
like
Oh no, yeah. So he's unfuckable then.
Yep.
We've done it.
We've done it.
We're putting him in unfuckable
Fine, we did it.
with Reaper. Actually, Reaper is at the bottom, so we have to move on. Cassidy, S tier.
S tier. Cowboy.
S tier above Mercy.
Red Dead 2.
No,
No. Above Mercy.
No.
Hard
The
above
only-
Mercy.
only
Hard above Mercy.
fucking Man
Hard above Mercy.
is
Hard
Torbjorn.
above
No one
Mercy.
else.
Nope.
Motherfucker.
Above Mercy. Above Mercy.
No.
No.
Yep.
Mercy is
Yep.
not topped by anyone
Yep.
other than Torbjorn. You understand me? No.
Mercy probably has fucking lumbago, bro. Who cares?
No.
Put John Marston up there and that's
No.
where he belongs.
No.
S tier.
No, I'll. This is good. Although Reinhardt does go above Mercy, and I will take no argument.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
We can't.
Yep.
Listen,
Right.
we cannot be
Yep.
friends.
Yep.
We can't be friends anymore.
Reinhardt
Yep.
is the most attractive person in the entire game.
We cannot be friends
You-
anymore.
Strong,
Yep.
family values, big man,
Cannot
big
put
shield.
him above Mercy.
Optimus Prime too. He's got Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime
Has a really cool fucking scar.
S tier.
He is at least S, and I'm putting him above Mercy.
It's fine.
Yeah.
But don't put him above Mercy.
I will put him one spot below Mercy.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
fine.
Where he belongs.
So long as the order is Torbjorn and then Mercy, we're good.
Okay.
Boo.
Fine.
Boo.
Mercy is so basic. Chat, I really tried, okay? I made a
I'm gonna be
valiant effort.
racist again because of this.
No! Ash?
Mid.
Ash?
B.
Top
I
of
like
B.
her less than Kiriko.
Top of
You
B,
like her less
top
than
B.
why?
Yeah, I don't know,
Why?
just I don't know. I don't like her design as much.
But like, oh no, she's going top of B. Fuck you. Actually,
Top of B.
Fine.
Yeah.
Here's the thing:
I'll get
Kiriko's
one.
like bad personality. Ash is just like fucking. Who cares? I don't care.
Ash has the accent. The accent gives
She's
you.
got a robot
the
too.
accent
Bob
bumps you at
goes in
least
S
one-
tier. Bob goes in S tier.
We-
Bob's S tier. Simple as that.
Bob,
and then
Bob,
because we gotta
is
bring her
in-
down.
Bob is definitely not an S tier.
Ash is F tier, and then Bob is S tier. So we balance it out and go in the middle of top of B tier.
Okay.
That's how that works.
Zarya.
Russian F tier. I'm gonna be
No,
racist
big lady
again.
A tier.
Stop it. Where are we putting Zarya?
Big lady, at least A.
Alan, what do you think?
Got pink hair, Zesty. And she's Russian. That's like the most anti-American thing possible.
I
Russia.
don't care.
Below Ash.
No.
He's a sleeper
A.
cell Asian.
A.
Race guy online.
What's gonna
Bottom of
happen
A.
is you're
Bottom
gonna,
of
you're
A.
gonna,
I'll take
you're gonna
bottom
go
of A.
you're gonna go on a date with Zarya and you're gonna be like, oh man, it's such a great
boy.
time to be out with you, Zarya.
Oh boy.
Oh man, I was just working on the United States missile DEFCON alert system, and loose lips cost lives, Zesty. It's gonna be your fucking fault because you find
Thankfully,
Zarya.
I don't work
attractive.
for the fucking government.
What?
Loose lips cost live.
Loose
I will
lips
take.
cost
Listen, I'll take
lives.
the Russian big lady before the cowgirl. All right.
I'll put bottom of A.
Thank you.
You're the reason why we lost the Cold War.
Roadhog. Roadhog.
S.
S. It's that simple.
Was that you guys high fiving? What was that?
Yeah, yeah.
We were
it was
high fiving through the internet.
How? Where in S? Where are we doing
Top.
this?
on top of
No.
Mercy. Love
No.
Mercy.
No.
No.
I would say bottom of S.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm fine with bottom
Yeah,
of S.
bottom of S.
Actually, wait,
Nah,
no,
put
no,
him-
we have
get-
to move
get him in
Lucio
front of the
up. I
woman.
take it back.
Get
We
him in
have to
front of the
move
woman.
Lucio up.
Get him
Yeah,
in
okay.
front of the woman.
Bring Lucio above Roadhog.
There we go. All is well. The balance has
Yeah,
been
all
maintained.
is well. All is well. There we go.
Move
Much better.
Roadhog and Lucio above May, Farah, and
No.
Willow, please. Move them up.
No.
Unsexable. Put that ugly motherfucker.
Yeah.
Sigma goes in unsexable. He sucks.
Legally
Sigma-
can't consent. Legally
What do you
cannot
mean?
consent.
Oh, because he's insane.
He's not in his right mind. What
Oh,
do you
yeah,
mean?
because
What do you
he's
mean?
insane.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
I didn't
What do you
think
mean by
about
that? Huh?
Do you understand what
That's
this
messed
is about?
up, Lucid. That's fucked up. Actually, no, that's not fucked up. That's the exact opposite because we're not trying to
we're
do
rating
that.
them based off of attractiveness. Why are you looking at me like that?
We're all done. There's no other characters. We're all
Maga?
done.
Maga?
No, he doesn't exist. I don't see him on here.
The TF2 heavy.
But Polynesian, so of course he has a shield.
Does he? He doesn't have a shield.
His ult's a shield.
His ult is not a shield. His ult is a cage.
Yeah, it does.
It's
Yeah,
a,
it's a shield
it's
too.
a
You can't
shield.
shoot. You can't shoot into it. It's a shield.
I hate.
It's
I
both.
this
He's a
sucks.
tank character. He's meant to be a shield.
Put the fuck. Where are we putting him? I like when he goes ha ha. That's pretty hot.
Say-
bottom B.
I'm fine
Top
with.
of B.
Below Ash. There we go. All is well.
Moronic Rock, you're gonna lose your mind when I tell you that Maui, right, is an actual deity character in Polynesian mythology, and that Disney cannot legally copyright that. That's like them copyrighting Hercules, like the character. It's not how that works.
Richter is claiming that he will whoop Zesty Jesus in Scrabble. What do you think, Zesty?
Actually,
All right.
incorrect. I'd beat him.
Let's get him in here. Let's play Scrabble after the stream.
Can we play this? Can we play dyslexic Scrabble?
Listen, Diva is low because she's fucking annoying. Annoying, weird gamer girl. Twerp, go away. Get out of here.
Deep is like Toad without like any of the fun or joy or happiness. It's just soul sucking.
Okay. So, what do you guys think of this tier list? Everybody in chat, I want to know.
I think this tier list fucking sucks.
Why? Why?
See, if I were at the reins, there'd be some very distinctly different placements. But overall,
Yeah, you'd have Wrecking Ball and S2.
The only thing I agree with is like Torbord at the top, Everything else I disagree.
Yeah, Torbjorn belongs at the top, 100%.
Yeah, that's the only thing I agree with.
This is a good tier list. I'm happy with it. Lucio got into S. That's good.
That's all that matters.
That's really all that matters, honestly. Honestly, if we were talking about like dateability, if we were like taking sex off the table, Lucio would be like top 3 in the entire game because Lucio's like one of the only likable characters who like would be a cool person to hang out with in the whole game.
All these characters are F tier because sex before marriage is a sin, and sex after marriage is a sin.
If that's what we're
all
doing,
going
because Lucio,
Yep.
Lucio wouldn't be pressured. Lucio would be a good boyfriend. He would take his time, and he has a good job. He's a famous DJ, so that means he's financially lucrative.
Fucking put a ring on him. Fucking marry him if you love him so much.
will marry Lucio. I would do it. If Lucio were female, he would be literally at the top of this tier. I
think you're missing. I think you gotta do some self-identity exploration.
I am correct. You are mad that I am right, and that he would be the most dateable person in the entire game.
What does that
aside
have
from
to do with sex before marriage? I said everybody's F tier on this because I don't believe in sex before marriage.
Because dating someone doesn't mean fucking them. What? Do we have to do this again? We already did this once when we talked about Zesty's sex life.
Dating
boy, here we go.
Too much money. It's too much money.
One after another. I got Lucid as a gold digger, and Lucid is right. Just one after the other.
It's too much money.
No. We're winning.
Hey, yo, I gotta go. I gotta bounce. So,
Yep.
And, well,
it was fun.
It was fun. Would you like to say anything before we close everything off?
Hear me out.
Eat your vegetables.
UFR 32.
Hear me out before you go. Hear me out before you go. UFR blind date game show. Hear me out.
Oh no.
$1 idea.
That was the whole
blind date game show. How the hell would that work out?
Do one of those like contestant number 1 behind the curtain. Who is
You
it?
realize that like all of the participants would be men, right?
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
We put AI girl voices on all of the men.
That's true. That's
that would
true.
be great. And then like
But we
behind
don't.
door number
Wait.
one.
We do that,
In
but
AI
wait. That's actually genius. We do that, but we don't tell the contestants that we've done that, so they think they're all just dating women.
Oh,
That's actually a brilliant idea. Holy shit, we've unlocked something.
$1 That's why I'm a gazillionaire.
That's why I'm a lucidillionaire.
hell yeah! All right, y'all take care. See ya.
It's extreme catfishing, is what we just described.
Space Guy, do you have anything you'd like to shill?
To shill? No. To say? Yeah.
What do you want to say?
Fuck Quebec, dude.
Okay. Alan, Alan, what about you? What's going on with you? What's wrong with you, Alan?
You're not gonna like what I have to say.
Okay, I don't. Why is this UFR has been wild. We talked about Gab. We talked about Quebec. We talked about the fuckability of the Overwatch characters.
I wish we didn't talk about Quebec. I think it would have been perfect otherwise.
That was you. You did that.
Yeah. It was you.
My own spite, my own
Right.
hatred, my hubris.
Chat, I have a video in the works. It'll be out hopefully next week. Fingers crossed. Go watch my payload video if you haven't. Tomorrow I'm doing a calligraphy stream that's already scheduled. Go check that out. We're gonna be writing literally everyone's name. Every single person in chat. I'm gonna be writing a calligraphy, and it's gonna be at this time. So if you're here for this stream, you should be there for that one. It's gonna be fun. You get free art out of it. It's gonna be very fun. So yeah, all that aside, UFR next week. UFR 32 in the books. Bye-bye, everybody.
Can we do the dating